Okay, so this you called it the big beast, and then you said it's actually not that big for being a big beast, right? Because you said it could do so much more than you anticipate from a machine this size, right?
Yeah. So this is the Mona Lisa 8000. So this is actually our entry level printer.
Really? Okay.
In direct to fabric printing. So this one is using a pigment specialist pigment ink for textile. We have a printer and a dryer here, which is common setup. And actually this is a relatively compact format for the productivity that you have. This actually has 8 Epson printheads in it.
I think that's the reason why it's called 8,000.
Right? There's a 16 and a 32, and
I can't get why you get all these great names on the equipment, right?
There's even a 64,000,
really?
which is huge.
Yeah,
So,
so the essential of this technology is basically, is that the pigment that is special, or is it the way that you do things?
It's the Epson. The core of all Epson's printers is the precision core Epson printhead.
Yeah.
And that is what enables us to deliver such incredible image quality that you'll see across whatever application that you have from Epson, whether it's for photography, whether it's signage, whether it's textile, you'll see the same image quality coming out. And the core of that is the printhead, the Epson printer.
Yeah. So just for the layman and for me, because I'm so stupid. No, you don't have to say yes to that.
No.
No, I was just wondering, if you look at the printing on textile, what is the biggest challenge? I mean, one thing is that you say that it's a printhead that have those capabilities, but is it how you cure? Is it how you make sure that it is still soft and touching, and what is the challenges?
Yeah, there are a lot of processes that interact with each other. So one is obviously we also make our own ink. It's called Epson Genesta ink. So it is especially designed to work together with our printhead. But on top of that, you also have a chemical pre-treatment of the fabric to allow the...
So is that from the printing machine itself then? Or?
No, that's again is usually added to the fabric before printing.
Okay. And is that something that the fabric manufacturer does, or something that you have a machine doing as well?
It's something that we do in terms of the formulation.
Okay.
So we make our own formulations of this pre-treatment that again will assist with the adherence of the ink and the accuracy of the adherence of the ink, because you can have the best quality printhead, etc. But if then the ink expands in an uncontrolled way,
doesn't really make sense, right?
You lose that.
Yeah.
So yes, it has got a lot of steps together, and then there are finishing steps as well that are required.
I'm a little curious, because when you see here at FESPA, you see actually quite a lot of competition in this area right now, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm interested in is, of course, your major KPIs from choosing Epson. That is one thing, right? The second thing I'm a little bit interested in is also, like, if we go and look at the market for fabrics and textile in general, I mean, is this industrial scale at now, or is it more still on a smaller volume kind of basis, or where do you see the market for these things?
This is industrial scale.
This is industrial scale, okay.
Yeah.
So this is like manufacturers of fabrics, they will choose this kind of equipment.
This is exactly. So fabric manufacturers who've been working in the market for a long time will be choosing the Mona Lisa range.
Okay, great.
This particular Mona Lisa, the Mona Lisa 8000, that does cross over.
Because it is not so big, and you said that you have like very big machines as well.
So if you're coming into the market, maybe using an internet business model to print fabric for home use, for instance, then you could consider starting a business with this. So it does cross over that area in a way that maybe the higher productivity, higher cost ones don't. They're more dedicated production machines.
And what about the competition? I mean, what is the major KPI for investing in an Epson? I mean, you know, there's competition in the market, so I mean, of course, I take you're well prepared when you have the good reasons for investing in your stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's the quality of the image that we produce.
Looks really consistent.
You know, so we will always focus on the quality and the reliability and the usability, trying to make it easy to use, reliable, so that you can have consistency over a period of time, and obviously the print quality that
Let's go and check the print engine as well, right? So
so here's Here's the printer half of it.
That's a step. Could have been fantastic in a live television show. Just fall all over your machine, right?
There you go. So this is the printer side of it.
Yeah.
So.
And is it water based or the curing or?
It is a water based ink.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
so there's just like heat.
It's a simple heat dryer. Yeah.
Fantastic. And you have some samples here as well.
Yeah.
And is it? I'm not so much into the textile, to be honest. I'm more from the commercial print side. But I was wondering, is it both cotton and synthetic materials you can print on?
You can print on anything.
Anything.
Material-wise, almost anything.
Almost anything. Okay, you had to make that disclaimer, right?
Almost anything.
Yeah.
There are 4 traditional types of ink, and we make all 4. So there's a pigment ink, a dispersed dye ink. You get a reactive dye ink and acid dye inks.
Okay, so that is the 4.
So and you can buy the printer with any of those 4 ink sets. Yeah.
It's funny because I don't consider myself a layman in the printing industry, but in this segment I know mostly Epson because I have had Epson printers in my home for so many years, right? So it is actually a pleasure to see how this works. So we have something else over here. Let's go.
Let's move on. So this is also in the textile area.
Yeah. Same kind of technology besides of course the applications are different with the fabrics or
so as I said, the core of everything is the Epson precision core printer head technology. This has exactly the same printer head technology in it. It has it prints with it prints with another type of aqueous pigment ink, actually.
Okay, so it's a different one. Okay.
And this one is designed to printing to cotton T-shirts.
But it looks cool, and you have, the vibrant colors, and when you feel it, it feels quite nice. It doesn't feel like a thick plastic layer. It feels like, it was not dry yet. Oh, sorry, I disturbed you.
And as you can see, you can print with white ink as well.
Yeah.
On this garment.
So what is the process? You print on this one and then you dry it in an external machine?
Yeah, you can either dry it in a drying tunnel, which we've got a small example of here.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So this is like for smaller shops where you need to have something,
Yeah, well, this can be used in a high production environment too.
Okay, so that is not limited just because it's a small machine.
Exactly, and what you do find actually with all of our production printers, what you do find is a lot of customers will buy multiple units and what we call print farm.
Okay, so you basically set them aside and then you can basically print a lot of equipment.
Which gives them a few opportunities or benefits over buying a very large, single, expensive printer.
Scalability.
You got scalability, the opportunity of redundancy, and also
for equipment and all those kind of things.
And also, if you have different substrates you're printing to or different inks that you want to print with, of course, it gives you that flexibility. So this is the F3000. We have 2 printers. We have a smaller one called the F2100. This is the F3000, which is more industrial build, which you can see with the sort of metal chassis, bulk ink system, etc.
So Duncan, when we started this session here, we jumped directly into it. But maybe you should introduce yourself. What is your role? What do you do?
That's a good point.
Because are we just picking a random person here at Epson booth? Or,
This guy looks like he knows what he's talking about.
You're just a customer. You're just walking around selling the equipment.
No,
right?
my name's Duncan Ferguson, and I'm the vice president for commercial and industrial printing at Epson Europe.
So you know your shit.
I meant to.
Okay, then we have that was a disclaimer too, right? Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so the sale of this type of equipment, is that good business, and there's a big demand for this kind of equipment?
This has been one of the business areas that's had significant growth over the last few years. It was growing well anyway.
But there's a general tendency in all segments that short runs, personalization, even in textile and clothing, garment, basically in everything.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
Epson is a huge company, but is this one of the focus areas, or this just happens to be the thing that you present here at FESPA, or?
This stand, the business I'm responsible for, which is commercial and industrial printing, is now one of the core focuses of Epson.
Okay.
And a lot of investment is going into this area.
And you also deliver print heads to third parties, right? To other OEMs,
Yeah, we started a business also delivering print heads to third parties, and the reason for that is that we were seeing this massive explosion of potential for ink inkjet printing.
Yeah, because inkjet is really, in all segments, really interesting to look at.
We had a great technology, but we just simply don't have all the resources to manage building printers for all these exciting applications. So.
Plus, while you say that, I was also thinking that as the demand for inkjet grows, at the same time you will also have you have to put more resources into R&D because the competition gets a little bit stronger. So that's good to spread it out on other people's money as well, right?
So it made sense from many angles. Yeah.
So what do you want to show us next?
Well, if we keep going this direction,
why not?
So again, it's another textile printing technology, but this is sublimation technology.
Okay, yeah.
And this is actually it prints to paper, so it's in concept it's very similar to the printers that we would have in the photography or the signage production area. Yeah. So in terms of design, you'll notice this is very similar to the one that we have in signage, because actually
more or less the same.
More or less the same printer.
Yeah.
Again, the same core technology inside with the print heads. And the process here is you're printing to dye sublimation paper, and then you have to have some form of heat transfer
to the textile.
To the textile.
Yeah. When you use this kind of technology, is that something that is being substituted by some of the other technologies eventually, or is this still like a core product that people use?
No, they all have their position in the market.
Yeah.
So if you think about, again, I keep referring back to things that have happened over the last 2 or 3 years.
Please do.
But if you think about everyone was locked down, and what did you do for your exercise when you're locked down? There was an absolute boom in people cycling around Europe.
So cycling clothes was the new...
Cycling clothes. This is how you produce cycling clothes. If you go around the other side, we'll show you some samples from a customer of ours. But you know, because you're printing to polyester, which this is a
and you don't want to heat it too much on polyester, right?
And this is the standard way of creating, you know, the majority of sort of lycra clothing for cycling.
Yeah.
That's just an example.
So that is an example. So it is a little bit. I mean, of course, like with everything, it's the application that decides what kind of technology you use for it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The benefit of the sublimation technology, it's not only dedicated to textile. So these printers are designed predominantly with textile in mind, but actually they can also be used for gift and promotional printing.
Okay.
So you can print anything hard surface, as long as it's got a polyester coating that acts as a receptor for the ink. You can print to almost anything with this technology, or transfer to almost anything.
Yeah, because that is actually what happens, right?
Yeah.
So it is, but I mean, it's not the same as when you refer to like transfer print. That it's not exactly the same, right?
No.
Oh, it's different process and different technology, right?
Well, yes, there are various types of transfer printing.
Okay. See, I don't know nothing.
So this is
I'm in my learning mode.
Dye sublimation transfer printing. Yeah.
Great. Okay. And with this, I mean, you know, you often talk about that when you do digital print, you always consider that it's more like a Gillette model. You sell the machines, and basically your business is on inks. Is that also like?
Nah, not in the production market.
Not in the production market.
No.
Okay. You make money on both their parts, basically.
To be honest, what we try and do is to make the profit over the lifetime of the product, and what we try and do is
you basically see that as a longer.
Exactly. Yeah. So we don't try and cut it down, or we need to make money on the printer, or we need to make money on the ink, or we need to make money on the service. It's more, you know, how do we work together with our customers so that they make money and we make money out of the fact that they can make money.
It's actually one of the claims I had on some of the interviews and some of the articles I've been writing, is that I think there's, at least also in the commercial space, and maybe what you refer to is what is already now happening with Epson, is that the relationship between a customer and an OEM is basically changing to become a very much longer term relationship where you build everything from upgradability to consistency to substrates, basically.
And we now want to take it one step further, which is really to see okay, how can we then work with our customers to extend the life of the printers that they have? So rather than how can we sell them another one? No, okay, let's think about how we can introduce our technology and just keep transforming what they do.
Yeah.
With having the minimal impact on resources.
But I was also thinking that, I mean, if you look at printers like this look so, to me it looks so modular, right? Yeah. So I was thinking a machine, if the transport mechanism works fine, maybe you can just exchange the print heads, right? Yeah. I mean, so there's like a lot of ways how you could do things, right?
Yeah, and actually you would go back to the first product that we looked at, which was the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
So on some of our more production-oriented Mona Lisas, exactly that can happen. You can basically upgrade from an older print head to the new print head using the existing chassis.
Okay. And when you look at the reason why you should do that, is it because of better quality, better speed, or what is the reason for it? Or just because it's a tear down, or
it just reduces the amount of resources you're using.
Okay, so that's why. Okay.
It's an environmental angle is the key one.
When
and it could help on cost for the end user as well. If it's like anything, if you're reusing something, it usually is a lower cost than if you've got something new.
But it was because I thought you meant that sometimes if you have, like, let's say that you have a machine X, and you buy it because that is your need in the market right now, and then your market demand changed, and now you can just upgrade parts of it because your market is changing. That could be speed, or it could be better quality, or more colors, or whatever you want.
Yeah, and that's a good example is inks and having the ability to flush out an ink set and then replace with a different ink set.
Yeah. Okay, so you can do that as well with the...
We have, so it's very common with the Mona Lisa, and this is the... Excuse me, I'm struggling a little bit.
Yeah, that's okay.
And this is...
I'm trying to keep myself back from coughing, so don't worry. As long as we're not in the COVID situation.
This is the Shore Color F10000H.
Yeah.
And H is a relatively new product which uses 6 colors rather than 4.
So you extend the gamut, basically.
And it's CMYK, and then there's an additional 2 optional colors, but there's actually 3 versions of 2 optional colors.
Oh, okay.
So you can start swapping them between.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay. And one of those is specifically designed not for textile, but it's specifically designed for the hard substrate market.
Oh, okay.
So where we'll sell it with light cyan and light magenta rather than with the fluorescence. Fluorescence is very much focused on textile.
I'd take, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we have a...
So that runs through sort of the textile area.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. But as you said, some of these machines can be used for more than textile as well, right?
Yeah, so that's why we have the sublimation leading in here, because that's sort of crossover area. Yeah. Here we move into traditional signage area.
Is that a market that you're strong in, or...?
Yes, we are. We've been in the signage market now for 14 years.
Okay.
We launched our first signage printer in 2008. But we've always had roll-to-roll printers. So this is the first UV flatbed from Epson. Again, launched during COVID period.
And when I look at it, I can see that you have the spot UV as part of it. Is that just like a standard thing, or is it something you?
Yes, it isn't standard. I mean, and as you can see, we have
all the different.
We have 10 color.
So basically,
system.
you can choose whatever.
Yeah. So we basically it's a relatively affordable product. As you can see, it's a smaller the footprint than you'll see with other people's UV
But
flatbed.
It looks stunning still, right?
Exactly. But again, what we're trying to do is create a really high visual, high quality image ink set. And that's where we try and create a USP for our customers. Okay.
And if you look at a product like this, that is, from my perspective, also a very competitive area. So when you say this is relatively new product to you and the first time you launch is that because you have something that is a very good entry point for customers to invest in an Epson equipment?
Yeah. What we were trying to do with our R&D was just to try and find the sweet spot where we are focusing on what we're good at as a company, which is obviously that image, the image quality and the image reproduction, and apply it to a market which is traditionally somewhat different. And we did exactly the same, funnily enough, with our Echo Solvent roll-to-roll inkjet, 14 years ago. So it's not as if we haven't used the same trick in the past. But it's worked very well. It's proving very popular. Interestingly, very popular in Scandinavia.
Oh, really?
Actually,
okay. Fantastic.
Doing really well.
So I say to my countrymen, I'm here with Duncan from. Are you from the UK?
I am, yes.
Yeah, from the UK, and we just see a very popular piece of equipment for the Scandinavian market, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And for the rest of the world, right?
Yeah.
So we have a few minutes more. So what should we see?
Yeah, we're nearly done around here. So this is our roll-to-roll area. We have two different technologies.
This is where you have been very strong for a long time.
For 10, 15 years, yeah. And so if you, so this is a situation, actually the printer and cutter.
Yeah,
this is the cutter.
Yeah. And there you have the printer.
So here is our S series. This is market-leading eco-solvent signage printing, roll-to-roll. Again, very high quality image, but very affordable production. This now comes with bulk ink tank system.
It's also nice that you have easy access to.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And a lot of colors. So that is like, do you have your own rips, or what kind of software do you use for ripping?
Right, we have our own rip, but we also work with many of the major rip vendors.
Yeah. So basically, the customers can choose whatever rip they want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll share SDKs with the major rip vendors, and because our rip is very good. It's good entry level rip. It means that anyone can get started with the product.
Yeah.
But if they want some additional functionality, or they want to integrate
whatever they want,
it's their choice. Yeah. That's the important thing.
Fantastic.
If I just come round the side here.
Yep.
Run through. So this is another product very recently launched. This is the R5000 or R5000L. Similar. It's got the Epson precision core print head. It has the bulking system.
Yeah. And even more here than on the other one, right? Yeah.
You know, very high quality imagery coming off.
Yeah.
This uses though an aqueous resin ink.
Okay.
Okay. So here you're creating outdoor signage using an aqueous ink. So
looks really cool. You're suffering today, right?
You should have come a couple of days ago. I was much better.
Yeah. Oh, and now you have I just saw this one. So basically you have video man. Is that just for like instruction or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. So easy access to it.
Easy access.
Yeah.
Okay. And one last thing I want to show you before we wrap up.
Yep.
Because what we've shown you is products that are, you know, for proper production customers on the whole.
Of course, yeah.
But actually what has become very apparent during the COVID crisis is the sort of micro businesses.
Okay. Because now people can't go to the big offices, and that creates an environment for a lot of smaller things, right?
Yeah, well, people ended up being furloughed at home. They started businesses, and a lot of those are actually continuing. And people are finding that
they make money working from home, right?
And it means that the customization trend, you know, the sort of hyper customization, as I call it, it enables people to do things. And what we have here is products to satisfy that market.
Okay, so this is like really like domestic kind of businesses, right?
Yeah. So this is the same sublimation technology like that you see in the big textile printers.
So basically the same technology, but on a way smaller scale.
So really micro it down, even down to an A4. Yeah. It's an A4
so that basically
printer.
means that, okay, I'm at home, I want to make, let's say, a t-shirt or whatever, and then I print it, and then I have a heating system so I can apply it. That is the heating system we have here, or?
Exactly. Yeah. You can buy a printer, small heating system, and you can do your own micro production of whatever.
And I would say that, I mean, it must be a huge advantage for a company like Epson, because you also have let's say, the traditional channels for like mass-produced products, right? Because if you look at some of the competitors, they may not have that channels, right? Or is that wrong? Or
it isn't actually.
Okay.
What happens is that these do go through channels, but they are quite specialized channels.
Okay.
Who
specialized in this business, basically.
And the reason is that quite often when you're selling to this type of customer, they want to have the full package. So they want to know, I buy this printer with this rip, with this oven, with comes the full sort of business in a box concept.
Yeah.
So So you're right in one sense that because Epson has the name and has the reach, it makes it easier. But actually, some of the resellers that do the best job here do the best job because they understand the full technology and what's needed to get a finished product.
And the limitations of what you do, of course.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, Duncan, I have to go to my next interview.
Myself
it was
too.
a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet your viewers.
I hope your voice will get better. But I mean, that's the curse of being on a trade show, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I will come and say hi to you when we finish the live broadcast.
Okay. Farewell.
Farewell. So, hang on a second. We need your microphone. Just hang on a second here. Just hang on a second, Duncan. We are just here. Duncan, he wants to leave, but his microphone is still on him. But I says goodbye for now. We're going now to have an interview with Stuart from Kongsberg. At FESPA in Amsterdam in 21 actually, I had the pleasure to do what we call a conversation, which is a little bit of a longer interview format with Stuart from Kongsberg. At that time it was relatively new that Kongsberg became your own entity, right?
Right.
So, I mean, before we talk about your wonderful booth and your wonderful products, Stuart, how has the time been since we met the last time?
It's been a roller coaster ride, right? I mean, when we met before, we just left ESCO. And now we're just over 1 year as a standalone company, and it's been a fantastic year. It's been a journey of exploration and learning as well, and good business. And we had a great year, and we're starting this year great as well. So we the whole team is enjoying it. You'll see if you come to visit our stand how happy and motivated the crew are here. So it's been great.
And it's so great because when I came by yesterday, we met each other briefly. I couldn't help talk to some of your customers, and I heard that the bell has ringed a few times here at the FESPA show, right?
Oh yeah, and we ring the bell here on the stand every time we receive an order.
Yeah.
I think we're at like 14 bell rings or something. That's great.
But I was just thinking, the reason I'm asking is because I was just thinking that from you separate yourself from ESCO, become your own entity, create your own brand. From you do that till you start getting orders under the Kongsberg name and with your marketing and your communication, it must be wonderful, right?
Oh, it is. It's fantastic. And look at it. Look at the stand that we've got. Look at the amount of visitors we get. It's fantastic.
It's a factory, right? We can see all the work here, right?
That's right. Yeah. And I think it's a credit to the team, the Kongsberg team, because you go from 0 to 100 miles an hour in 1 year and have an event and marketing and all the collateral and the design that goes with it. It's a huge achievement, and like I say, credit to the whole Kongsberg team.
So on a personal note, has it been a stressful time for you? I mean, I know that you said that it's important to have the team and how you collaborate, but I was just thinking, a big ship can't sail without a captain, right?
Right, and I would say yes. I mean, I don't like the word stressful because I think I wouldn't do it. If it was really stressful, I wouldn't do it. There's pressure to get things done in a timely manner with some speed and momentum. But honestly, if you take all the pressure out of a system, nothing happens. You need a little bit of pressure just to keep things moving. So, but you know what? Somebody asked me 2 days ago, if I had my time again, I wouldn't change it. Yes, a lot of pressure, a lot of hard work, a lot of long days, a lot of travel now. But we have fantastic results, a fantastic team, and we're going forward, and so I wouldn't have changed anything.
Maybe it's just because I don't have English as my native tongue, because I saw stressful also could be positive, actually.
Right, yeah. Well, stress has a negative connotation,
that's
so
true,
a bit of pressure.
Yeah, pressure.
A bit of pressure. You know what it's like? If somebody, when you were at university or at college, if your professor said you have 9 months to do your dissertation, be like, I'll leave it for 8, right? If they tell you need it in 2 weeks, you're like, okay, I need a bit of pressure to get me going.
Yeah,
so,
precisely, I take it's the same when you asked me if we're doing this live. I said, yes, that's to put the pressure on us. Because you have to perform a little bit better, right?
You do, but I think it's more interactive. When we had our conversation before, it's a great platform. I love doing INKISH TV, it's great.
Thank you very much. Here at your booth, one thing is the wonderful branding and the wonderful equipment. are you showing something new, or is it more like trying to introduce yourself again to the market?
Well, it's a bit of trying to introduce ourselves, but as you know, last August we acquired Multicam.
Yeah.
And Multicam is a complementary business to the existing Kongsberg product portfolio. So this is the first time you will see that the Multicam products are here with Kongsberg. We are now one team. You know, we've been integrating the business over the last 6-9 months, and this is it. This is the first show where we really come together. It's dual branded. We have
because I saw on the signs there. Now you have like the cutting lines, and you have that. I mean, it is consistent through the brand, right? Yeah,
correct.
I like the colors; they complement each other very well.
They complement each other, the colors, but the people complement, right? I mean, the products are complementary. The team that come from the US, from the Multicam team, working together here with the Kongsberg team, it's fantastic. You know, you will see here application people from both sides of the business, marketing people, and we all work together and collaborate. So some hard work to get there, but we're here. We're here together, and that's the future.
Yeah. So, I mean, have you had time to go and watch some of the other exhibitors here?
I've had a few moments to go and do that.
But it's great to, there's a lot of exhibitors that are really doing something great this year, right?
They are, and it's nice to see the volume of traffic and the number of exhibitors here. Amsterdam was great, yes, but it was kind of a hesitant start. Here you see everybody's back. They're investing in large booths like ourselves. The footfall's here. And we hear it from our bell rings. You know, the business is taking place, so it's fantastic.
The reason why I was asking is because, I mean, if you think of the different layers of this industry, you can say that first you have the substrates, then you have the software managing everything, then you have the printing devices, things, and now you have the finishing device, right? And it must just be fantastic to see, because the interest from the industry in this particular segment must be very satisfying for you to think of your business in the future, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you look around a show like FESPA, the investment in, because you see the color and the vibrancy of the stands, you know, like you say, from adhesive tapes and vinyls through to print, through to finishing, they're all part of the same ecosystem in terms of making this industry work. So it's fantastic to see it coming alive and customers being here.
And next time you and I will see each other, where should that be?
Well, it depends where you're going. I'm going to be
on where you're going.
Well, I'm going to be at Printing United personally.
I'm going to be Printing United too.
Well, we should meet then.
We have a deal.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stuart. Great meeting you.
Thank you. Yeah, good to talk.
See, this was Stuart Fox. To be honest, I love talking to this dude because he has, I think he has a good vision for where he wants to take Kongsberg. And you know, he has been with Seiko before, and when I spoke to him in Amsterdam, the challenge of moving something from a very well-known and recognized brand in the industry to create your own entity without losing the legacy. I think that's what they do right now, and I've just had a wonderful time, so thank you again. And now we have to go to the next one, so hang on for a second, and we have a new exciting conversation in a moment. I'm here with Davy from Enfocus. I mean, to be honest, Enfocus is one of the companies that have been, I think you were maybe the first company that was in the software industry featured on INKISH TV.
Yeah.
And every time we have the opportunity, we want to learn something. So Davy, before we learn about the product, let's learn a little bit about you. You are the, what's it called, the product manager for Switch?
Product manager for Switch and also for PDF Review.
Okay.
Brand new, just actually joined the company 6 months ago.
So you have never seen it before?
Of course, I've already seen it before, already for years.
Yeah.
I already.
Did you work as a customer with using
Well,
Switch?
in different, not as a customer, but more, for example, as a solution partner.
Okay, so you have been like consultant for printing companies?
No, I actually worked at Fujifilm.
Okay.
Fujifilm, we also started integration with XMF and Enfocus Switch as well. And in my previous company, I worked at an ERP system, data line, multipress.
Oh, okay, so you have that experience.
And we created also a app for that, an app for the integration of Switch as well, to automate your businesses actually in the end.
The reason I'm asking this is just because I think that if you think of working with software, I mean, it's always difficult to, if you have the elevator pitch about Switch, it's like you have to have a very, very tall building, right? Because it can do so many things, right?
That is the problem actually, that it can do too much. In the end, for example, we need to fine-tune it to the customer's needs. And we need to identify the customer's needs first. Yeah. There's customer needs and there's business needs. Needs that, for example, every business in the wide format needs. And that's also then why we actually created that solution package to actually show what automation can do for a wide format industry. And show actually really what the solution can be for their company.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because I can't remember, it was probably not FESPA at 2000 in Amsterdam, but maybe the FESPA before. I remember one person said to, I can't remember who, but one person said to me that the automation in both in packaging, but also in this segment of the FESPA segment was not as much as you see from commercial printing, and that is exactly what you talk about. So now we see large machines, and we see a growing demand for things. So of course there's also a growing demand for automation, right?
Yeah, very growing demand for automation. Certainly if you want to continue growing your business and being able to handle more jobs with actually also less staff, because the technical staff is actually, the pool of technical staff is getting lower and lower. It's very hard to find very technical trained staff. And that's also something that we need to lower the bar a little bit in automation by actually using functionalities that can be easily used by everybody in the company. And just by defining a job, for example, what is a job all about? Is it the beach flag? Is it the banner? Which kind of finishing? How many quantities? What is the finished size? That can be translated automatically in automation.
Great. Now I will ask you the question that you have heard 1 million times. My business is so difficult because we have so many unique products. It is impossible to automate.
But if it's so difficult, why do we have those key people that understand the business?
You got me already, right?
That information, that knowledge has to be translated. So we need to do an effort. Of course, in every new automation process, there is an effort that is needed. And the effort is to translate the knowledge into your automation system. And that is something that you need to do one time. And of course, you need to maintain it. And that is a small investment to do, and an investment in time. And nobody has time anymore. But that small investment in time can actually give you a lot of benefits, and also can generate more business, more jobs, less complaints, and more productivity as well.
When you have worked on both with Fujifilm and also Multidata?
Multipress.
Sorry. When you have been working on the software side with ERP and also on the hardware side with Fujifilm, I was just thinking that the experience you have got from these companies and the experience you have from talking to customers, would you say that to maximize your automation potential, that a company can do it themselves, or will they always need to have people either dedicated or consultants doing it?
It's hard to find also, for example, IT skilled people in every individual company. The goal is actually to guide your customer. And the most important thing is to find a starting point. Because everybody wants to start with automation. If you actually
it's also a buzzword these years, right?
It is a very huge buzzword. And defining automation is another thing as well. You can have automation in your machine, you can have automation in individual software. For us, automation is actually the connection between these individual pieces. Let them talk to each other. Every individual software and hardware is best in their own thing. Actually communicating with each other is actually making them a big whole, actually, to actually make them a big productive environment in the end. And of course, for example, you have bigger companies that have actually the resources, or an IT guy or whatever, that can focus actually on that automation. We have smaller customers that do not have those resources. And in that case, for example, that's why we bring out solutions, solutions that answer a business problem.
So you basically can say that, I mean, also you have the App Store in Switch. So basically that means that for your particular application, for your particular set of customers, you can sometimes have something that is a little bit more tailored already when you invest in it.
Well, it's a starting point. Like I said, for example, everybody wants to start with automation. But if you ask the question, for example, what do you want to automate? I don't know.
I have no idea.
And that's why, for example, we start with job onboarding. Job onboarding, we developed a flow, we developed a solution that we actually can install tomorrow at a customer, where they can actually start with job onboarding. And job onboarding in the wide format industry is very important.
Yeah, because I mean, you often have something that is relatively costly, and it is often one-off orders or smaller orders, so you have a lot of orders. I was just thinking that one of the things that probably help both Enfocus but also customers in general is that when everybody's now talking about IoT and you have devices with sensors and communication protocols, I mean, I take that you can take those data into the automation
That
flow
is also
and learn from
already
it, right?
the next step as well. For example, if they generate data and if we can capture the data, we can do something with the data. And that's, for example, we see in a lot of machines as well. If you talk to Durst, if you talk to HP, EFI, those machine manufacturers, they capture data. What do you do with that data is the most important thing. For example, they capture the data on ink consumption. They capture the data on how many square meters or linear meters of media that has been used. Why not use that to capture all the data in a centralized dashboard and maybe connect it to your stock management or your purchase management? If the machine tells you you're running low on ink or on substrate.
Maybe the answer is that sometimes the more data you have, the more clear it becomes, like which manufacturing machine is better working with from a financial perspective, right?
It can also be used in that way, of course.
And that saving can basically pay for the Enfocus Switch solution, right?
As well.
We're going to talk more, but you have a little pre-recorded demo here that you basically want to talk over for a second so we can see something here, right?
Yeah, of course.
So take it away, my friend.
Thank you. This is actually an introduction to job onboarding. And in job onboarding, for example, what is needed if you actually sell a product to a customer, you need to actually obtain the files. Because the turnover time, for example, the production time is very short production time. A lot of orders need to be produced in 1 or 2 days. So that means that you need to get the files from the customers very fast and in an organized and structured way.
And is that what it shows here? Or?
Here, for example, the software itself, the solution itself, it's a standalone package. So in this case, for example, the user, and the user is anybody in the company, could be you as well, defines... defines, for example, what is the product.
We take it down to the media layer here, right? Okay, fantastic.
Defines what the product has, what is the product that has been sold. In this case, for example, it's a beach flag. Who is the customer? And they just press the submit button, and that's it. That's the only thing that they need to do.
Nothing more.
The job onboarding process has started, so that means we do a connection in this case with Google Drive. It will create a folder structure on Google Drive and a shared link. It will email that to the customer directly. The customer just needs to click on the link where he can upload the file.
And get that information
Voila.
which is needed.
Indeed.
And now it comes into the switch?
Now it goes into switch. This is a predefined flow that we can install at a customer tomorrow if we want. It also generates a job ticket, and it stores that job ticket information. And it stores that job ticket information on a database. Very expensive Word database. But in this solution, we use Google Sheets as a database. So we store that information on Google Sheets, and we will pull back the information when needed, when the customer is supplying the file. In this case, for example, the customer has received the file, and because it's a beach flag, he also received a template, because maybe he needs to put his artwork into that template.
Okay, so you basically automate the process from when a customer has whatever need on something that is to some extent predefined, then you basically can automate the process of sending the templates. And
like
there we go. That's amazing.
And the correct template, of course.
Yes, and you know, when I see this, and I just think back on my time when I was a print broker and I worked in a printing company. I mean, this is a shitload of work going into this, right? And it is work that doesn't actually add value to the process itself. So here you can automate with a lot of benefits, right?
It's eliminating the technical aspect. For example, I'm selling a beach flag. That is the type of beach flag I'm selling. That is the size. Okay, which kind of template do I need to send to my customer? You need to know that. You need to have that technical education to be able to do that. Just by defining the product, we've done it for you. And it's automatically picked up the correct template and sent that to the customer.
Now you have like you show a flow here that is, you said that you can install it at any switch solution. I was just wondering, so let's say that people get started with the onboarding and then they have this switch solution to automate it. How much customization do you need to do in order to make something that is, you know, output job and shipping labels and invoicing and get money in the bank?
That's another level, of course, but again, we come back to the question to ask a wide format company, what do you want to automate? And they want to automate.
And here we got the, sorry, I just saw the
pre-flighting embedded as well. Well, I'm going to come back to that in a minute, but the biggest question in wide format is they want to have automation, but they do not know what they want to automate. And start with a simple process as job onboarding. This is a flow that you can install tomorrow. Everything that we demonstrate can be done at your production company tomorrow. But can be fine-tuned to your needs. It is a starting point. So if you want to start with automation, you can comfortably start with this. And then expand your automation to shipping labels, to automatic invoicing, to whatever that you want.
Do you think that automation, I mean, we spoke about that it's a buzzword, right?
Yeah, it's a very
But do you think there's also a kind of a fear factor in pricing? Because it's like, because when you start, you need to have the software, you need to have the skills, you need to learn your own company. There's a lot of things. So do you think that kind of fear for investing in it because you never know where you end?
No, and this solution, no, because you know for example, where you start. You never know where you're going to end. And that's the fun part of it. You already can start automating your business tomorrow with specific things, like for example, job onboarding, because job onboarding costs a lot of money.
And here it's obvious that it gives advantages to the customer, to the printing company, and to the process.
Immediately. So the ROI is on this, for example, if you install a system, that process will already be automated. You do not have to chase your customers anymore every 15 minutes and call them, where's my file, where's my file? Did you already send that link? Did we already receive it? Because here, for example, in our job boards...
So that is like a swim lane.
This is a swim lane, for example. Here in the job boards, we can see exactly, for example, what we need to focus on, what we actually already are awaiting approval, if we are already send it to production, and also it still gives you a level of control. The biggest problem with automation is also a kind of change management. Not only at the boss, but also at the employees, your colleagues that need to work with it. The problem is it's such a difficult business, there's a lot of variables, you cannot automate my business. And they fear
that was
to
why
lose
I was
control.
making the joke with you before, because I mean, you sometimes hear that customers are talking about, oh, we're so unique that we can't be automated, right? But now you gave an example that actually every process that can be automated from the onboarding, that does not have anything to do with how special your products are. It's more about defining the product.
Indeed, indeed. And it's also the fear of losing control. The advantage that we have with our job boards is that we implemented checkpoints. Checkpoints that, for example...
So they stop the process.
Indeed. It requires attention of a user. Of course, we can automate everything in the background. That's not a problem. But the user wants to stay in control. They need to check, for example, what is the pre-flight result? What is the mock-up result? Is there enough margin that has been generated? Is this the correct definition of the product, yes or no? So these checkpoints allow the user to actually check if everything is okay, and then actually continue with the process, creating the mock-ups, doing the approval process, preparing everything for production. So they allow a level of control in the level of automation, and that is also very important on a human level, of course.
One of the things I spoke to Thomas yesterday, 2 days ago, was because we spoke about the change of logo and how you appear in the market, and basically, and it just got to mind because you're showing the depth of automation with Switch, and that is basically also because now automation with Switch is not just limited to our industry, because you can basically use it for many other industries as well, because the
Yes.
process itself is more like, is it defining a sequence of
Well, the change of logo is also, for example, connected to our Beyond strategy.
Yeah.
But if we look at our products, if we look at Pit Stop, if we look at PDF Review, Connect, Boarding Pass, and also Switch, for example, they are heavily used in the pre-press department.
Ah, yeah, of course, and you want to...
So the first level of Beyond is, why do you not use Switch in other departments of your company for business automation? Like, for example, the synchronization of CRM data with marketing tools, the automatic generation and communication of offers, the automatic creation of jobs, the automatic creation of invoices, labels, shipping labels, and those kind of things. These are also processes in your business that you can automate. And of course, then you have other industry. For us, for example, wide format is not new. But it's an industry where we're not so well known. But it's not new to us. We're already 25 years in the business, so it's not new for us. But we're not so known in the industry, and certainly about automation. But then, for example, you can go to advertising agencies, maybe, for example, internal production companies in-house or in printing, or what do you call it, the implants, for example, as well. But also every company has a marketing department.
But it comes down to some of the things I always talk to also your colleagues about, is that the potential of Enfocus product is way beyond where you are today, right? And I just think that when you show this as a really simple but really advanced piece of software, I mean, everybody who sees it should be, wow, we need to get that kind of thing, right? So I just have another question, which is not related to this, but when you said multipress, didn't we do a webinar some years ago? I thought so, because
we've done a webinar with the integration that we've done with Presero.
That is
as
right,
well, and with B2B.
That's right,
B2B
because
e-commerce.
I just, when I saw your name, I thought, okay, I know you, and then I'm sitting down. What I like about you is that you have an extremely good knowledge, and you have really good passion about what you show. So I really hope this little video also will support your mission.
Yeah, of course. We'll
so we will have to go to the next one. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I know you were thrown into it, but it was fun anyway.
No problem.
Okay, great.
Happy to help.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
This was Davy from Enfocus. As I just mentioned, I met him when he was working in another company some years ago during the COVID, so this is the first time we meet in person, I think. Yeah. And it's been fun. See, this is a learning experience, right? And that is what INKISH is all about. We want to show you things, we want to give you some opportunities to learn from the best, and Davy is absolutely one of them. Sorry. And I don't know what's happening with me, but it's not good. But now I know that we're going to the next show here in the next 5 minutes. I can't remember with who, but it's here in Hall 25. So stay tuned. We are here just about to enter hall 25, but before we go into hybrid in a second here, I just met Jens Herman from Seiko. Welcome to, it's great to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So Seiko, you just make watches, right?
No, not only watches, but that is still something which is still in our DNA. But now we're also manufacturing printheads for the industrial inkjet.
Which is of course why I want to talk to you, because I know that you're doing way more than that. Jens, the inkjet market is really developing these years. So when you develop inkjet heads and you try to find customers for these, what are the main reasons for choosing your printheads?
Basically, the main printheads are our industrial DNA and the robustness and the focus on the industrial usage. So we make printheads from scratch, not deriving from some consumer printer, but for industrial customers, with all that what the customer in that field needs: robustness, durability, print quality, all stuff that is needed to provide you stable quality. So
I take that you don't make the printing devices yourself, but you have OEMs that you work with, right? So is that like, so could your printheads be, because a lot of people always hear about your competitors' printheads in whatever machine we talk about, but is your offers basically similar to theirs? Or, I understand the robustness and that you're not coming from a consumer product, but it's an industry grade product, but how should I understand where your market is?
Well, we sometimes start where the others stop. So we provide like big drops, for example. We focus more on big drops, high pigment loads, also giving the opportunity to provide high layer thicknesses, and also flexibility in mounting, for example, for integration into existing machines. Our printers can print vertically, horizontally, from bottom up. We don't care, so to say.
Okay. When you say larger drops, my first impression was that I thought that smaller drops was the good thing, but does that depend on the application, or?
Yeah, that is definitely something from the application. There are certainly applications where you need smaller drops, but there are also a lot of applications. For example, in this area, for the DTG field, for example, where you need big drops to soak the fabric, and to apply, for example, a thorough wide layer on your fabric, so that you can print on later on and create a sophisticated color gamut.
I think I heard a little bird singing that you are very strong in ceramics, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's where we have kind of a nearly 40% market share there.
Wow.
Due to our robustness and to the flexibility of our printhead, and to the capability of handling different types of inks, and also especially for the ceramics market, like the abrasive inks used there in a very dirty environment, and which is not like high-end printing and some kind of print shop,
but it's more like fast and efficient and
fast and efficient. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So what kind of, can you give an example of what kind of application that could be? Is it like printing for, what should I say, like dashboards for cars, or what are we talking about? What kind of applications do you think of when you think about your products?
We think about ceramics, corrugated board, for example.
So that is
corrugated board as well.
I misunderstood you, because when you said dirty things, I thought that when it was like in an industrial environment, I thought it was maybe for something specific for the more dirty environments. But that is basically just as an example.
Yeah, but that's an example. For example, but also what coding and marking, where also the print is not necessarily bringing some kind of worth or to the product, but is a necessity, but has to work just always, without any pause, any time. So we're also very strong in the coding and marking business.
Fantastic. We will have the pleasure to meet each other very soon. You have an open house event in Frankfurt in June.
Yes, that's right.
Tell me a little bit about it.
Okay. So from the 27th of June to the 1st of July, we will open our headquarters in Neu-Isenburg near Frankfurt, again to our customers and interested people. We will show a lot of different applications. We will set the spotlight to our integrating partners. We show different applications, different examples of what can be done with our printers, and to give the people an idea and to give them some food for their minds to think about new ideas where we can also be of use, and also to show our laboratory and the possibility that we not only are a Japanese company, but we're also a kind of a German company and a European-based company, Central European-based company. So we provide support from Frankfurt. We also have our logistics center there, so we also will have a tour to our logistics center so that people can see that we do all the customs stuff, and during these times with all the supply chain problems, we try to be ready and to be better than others, let's say, for this.
It sounds like it interesting, and I take that when I'm going there as well, all my stupid questions about what your printers can be used for, I will learn from you, right?
Yes, yeah. You will see everything, and everything we can do, and even more.
Yeah, and I look forward very much to come and visit you, because I think it's a really interesting area to cover, and we can always learn from each other. So we will try to bring your message across to the industry by filming from your event. So we look very much forward to that.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to that, and as you say, learning from each other. That is basically one big idea of the open house and of our laboratory and our customer center there, is to get into touch as early as possible, to talk about possible solutions, to bring together all the parties, like us as a printer manufacturer, ink supply, machine manufacturers, ink manufacturers as well, and therefore to get on the way to the perfect solution for our customers as early as possible.
And next time it will not be live, so we can prepare a little bit, right?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jens.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks. This was Jens Herman from Seiko. And if you thought that Seiko was only a Japanese company, we learned that Seiko is also a German-based European company. Fantastic. Now we are going to see some software from Hybrid Software in Hall 25, and we'll be with you in a very few minutes, so stay tuned. This is still Morten from FESPA, and at this time we're in Hall 25, which I mentioned we have been for the past 3 sessions we have done here. We are at a booth with some very good friends from Hybrid Software. Actually, at the last FESPA in Amsterdam, it was announced that a group of companies that has been always under the same name and the same company, they have all changed into Hybrid Software. So I'm here with Justin. Justin, great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too, Mark.
So how is the show for you this year here in Berlin?
It's fantastic. It's so good to be in a real show again, meeting with people. Of course, we were in Amsterdam a few months ago, but it was much smaller.
Yeah.
So this is great. It's really exciting to be here.
I want to learn a little bit more about you and your company in a moment, but why are you having that tablet in your hand? I'm curious now.
Well, this tablet's got a web browser on it.
So it's just a web browser, basically?
Yeah, it's a web browser, and this is just a very simple sample of a SCADA application. So this is the type of controller that's used in a manufacturing organization. And the reason that we've got this is because today we're talking about our smart DFE, a smart digital front end that controls an industrial inkjet press. And
just to understand that, it's because before we turned on the camera, you told me that in this industry, in the printing industry, we often talk about JDF standards. And if you look at how machine manufacturers work outside the industry, and maybe also even on the production side of many of the companies, they simply don't use the JDF as a standard. So you're basically bridging something that makes that technology accessible into how you control the things, right?
Yeah, we see a world where printing's changing, and in the past, historically, you would have had a dedicated printing system, and you'd have had highly skilled operators with lots of specific print knowledge in their heads, lots of years of experience to apply to get the output that they require. But today things have changed, and in an industrial setting, you need systems that are fully automated, that can talk to other parts of the manufacturing process. And the skills aren't there in the operators' heads. So we have to take that knowledge and we have to put it into our software. Hence the smart DFE, because the smarts have been put into the digital front end. And the way that we connect, rather than using JDF, is to use an industry standard protocol, OPC-UA. It's the Open Platform Control Universal Access. And it's already used in thousands of factories around the world to control their manufacturing processes. So by adopting that protocol, we can instantly fit into what the customer's got. Because they may not be putting a printer as such, but it may be just a printing subsystem that forms a part of that manufacturing process.
That basically means, because I think that one of the reasons why this industry have been talking so much about JDF is that there's a need for some kind of standardization in order to communicate across different vendors, across different types of machines and that. So what you say that when you have the DFE as that is basically you develop DFEs for third parties, right?
Yeah, so the background of our organisation is that for the last 30 years, people in print probably know us for the Harlequin RIP. The Harlequin RIP has been driving CTP devices and stuff in graphic arts.
Wasn't that in the old times a card that you could put in a Mac?
It probably was, but that probably precedes my joining the company. But certainly we're very, very well known in the industry for our RIP technology, for processing PostScript PDF files and turning those into rasters, and we do that faster than anyone else. So we're very, very good at the processing of variable data content. And so in today's world, instead of having mass production of products, I'm sure that most people are talking to you about the holy grail of mass customization. So the challenge with that is that every single item that gets printed is different in some aspect. So that's the variable data challenge. And the challenge of being, it's a big data problem. It's how do we get all of this data that we need to fed to those print heads in the speed that we need to drive the line speed of the press, but to do so so that we've still got the quality of the end product. And that's the challenge that we try to help people take on.
And I would say that if you are not a technical person like myself, you would probably just add more CPU power and more RAM, but that costs money, right? So
absolutely. Yeah. And so that's the challenge. We find today that in the marketplace there are more and more people that are either building a digital printer, it's the first printer that they've ever built, or they're traditional printers that are building their first digital inkjet printer. And they build that device, and then sometimes they don't realize that they need a mechanism to get the PDF input file to actually drive that press. And so they're going to need some software. They're going to need some software expertise. They're going to need an understanding of that workflow. And that isn't something that many of these companies have got. So what we've done is that we've formed a solution which takes care of that and enables that manufacturer of the digital printing system to get their product into market very fast, because time to market's all important, as you know.
Of course, yeah. So, and if we take a little broader perspective of hybrid, I mean, actually, I can tell you, it may sound stupid, but I will be very blunt and honest with you. Before I came to FESPA last time, I didn't know that Meteor and Hybrid and Global Graphics were the same company.
Right.
Because basically you have a lot of different offerings that you still brand them under the names, but now you're consolidating the brand awareness about Hybrid. So it's software, it's also hardware, right? It's a wide array of technologies you offer. But when you say what you just did now, it seems that everything fits so fine together, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I right? I can't remember.
No, you're absolutely right.
It was just because you looked in your eyes like, what is he talking about now?
No, absolutely. The critical thing is that we're companies that are all dedicated to print. And that's really, really important. So within our portfolio, we've got the company that I work for, Global Graphics Software. So we're best known for our RIP technology, our half-tone screening technology. We've got patented technology for correcting artifacts that are seen in print, especially things like banding that's often there because of non-uniformity wear print heads.
That's a typical, the reason why you have banding is probably because they don't measure and take that into consideration?
Well, I think there are a number of different reasons that you have it.
Okay. And that was one reason.
Absolutely. We're not so worried about what the cause of that problem is. As long as that problem is consistent, then we can actually calibrate for that and provide a solution that gives you nice...
So just to understand that, so what you say is basically that with the software that you create and develop, you basically, if a OEM choose to work with you or an end customer choose to work, you can eliminate some of the artifacts that you don't want to do, just because you can basically control it in the pre-press or in the RIPs, basically, or
we control it in the screening. So by changing the way that we do the screening, we can trick the human eye. The error's still there, but we mask it. And then because the banding, for example, that could also be like a physical problem, right? So what you're saying is basically that cheating the eye and the brain a little bit, then you can basically eliminate what you would have seen as banding. Yeah, because these manufacturers, they've got a really challenging business. They've got to get ink to hit a substrate at higher speed. There's all sort of other environmental conditions. So you're going to expect that there's some imperfections there. So what we do is that we help to correct for that through software, because trying to correct for it through hardware adjustments is a really costly thing to do. And there's always going to be a compromise somewhere along the way. So what we say is just get your machine to a constant state, and then we can take that and we'll correct it using software. So Global Graphics...
That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, it must be fun working with...
It's fun and
very helpful. I mean, to the people investing in expensive hardware, that you can solve some of the problems by software, right?
Well, yeah, but of course a lot of people take some proof to make sure they understand that and believe it. So Global Graphics Software, world's fastest RIP technology, experts in multi-level screening technology, print quality, uniformity. So just around the corner from us, co-located here, are Meteor Electronics. They're also based in Cambridge in the UK as we are, and they are the producers of the electronic cards that drive most of the world's leading inkjet print heads.
Really? Okay.
And they have a data path, and they also utilise the Harlequin RIP as part of their data
Nice that
pipeline.
you're neighbours, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's great cooperation between the companies. And then together in the group we have a company called Zytron, who are based in Ann Arbor in the US. And they have got a digital front end, and their Navigator digital front end, which they use to drive predominantly memjet based systems.
Yeah. Because there you need fast processing because it's so fast delivered.
Absolutely. And they're experts in that area. We have Hybrid Software, who are probably the most visible organisation because they're selling to end users, to converters, to packaging organisations.
And it's and are used because it's like something that you use in the pre-press department because your thing is a little bit more inside, in a package basically, right?
Yeah, no one's ever going to know that they've got a global graphics product because they're buying an HP or a Durst or a different
But they will
product.
know if they don't have it, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's not going to do a lot. So Hybrid Software are experts in the label and packaging marketplace. And so what they have is very, very successful software for pre-press. They have their PAX software, which is a native PDF editor for packaging.
I actually, and I can recommend this to the viewers here, that I saw from on Hybrid Software's website, there's some really good explainer videos about the technology.
Fantastic,
And I think that is, I think a lot of vendors are good at presenting their technologies, but I think that it just blew me away because there was such a big library of tutorials and learning experience. So that was really good.
Yeah, and they're a very good organisation, as you say, for explaining their solutions to an end user because that's their business.
Yeah.
They also have.
Are you talking to engineers, or who are you talking to?
Engineers.
Yeah.
And for someone like me, that's a real challenge because I'm the least technical person in the company by far.
Okay.
So the other thing that Hybrid Software do is they have their CloudFlow software. So this is a workflow for the label and packaging market, and then they offer automation services where they can hook into ERP systems, MIS systems. They're very, very successful in label and packaging, and I'd encourage anybody that's in that marketplace to just explore the Hybrid Software site.
He's working for them, so of course he's encouraging them to that. I mean, everybody seems to think that this is a free advertising opportunity. Okay, it is.
So Hybrid have, interestingly, earlier this year just added our 6th acquisition, and that's a company called Creative Edge. And Creative Edge have got a product called IC3D. That's a 3D rendering application, and it's particularly good for people who are dealing with the challenges of creating shrink wrap. So now we've got to get this artwork that's been done, and we need to be able to visualize that on a pack. Exactly. And the rendering technology that they've got is superb. It's so fast. And again, that's a technology that can be bought separately or integrated as part of the PAX solution from the Hybrid Software.
When I hear you talking and I think about Hybrid and all the companies you mentioned, is the size and the growth and the deliverables you have in your company, is that mainly done by acquisition? Has it been more like diverted into separate segments from the start, or how has Hybrid got to where you are today?
Well, but there's one other company, that I didn't mention, which is Color Logic. And Color Logic's really important to us.
Because the color management side of it.
Exactly, and that technology resonates across our group. So I think the secret to our success is that we've always bought small, successful companies. And what we've tried to do is to keep their culture and keep the DNA that made that organisation successful. But then to start to collaborate with one another. Not necessarily exclusively. Sometimes we might collaborate with another partner that does something someone else in the group does, But at the end of the day, our mantra is if that's what's right for the customer, then that's what we should do.
And it's funny with the strategy, because I think I saw a press release just some weeks ago that it's actually extremely successful times for you right now, right? I mean, it seems that you have growth in almost every segment, right?
Yeah, we do, but you know, like all organisations, we want more, but also we've got to be realistic. We're in challenging times, so you know, we may have to adapt some of the things that we do for today's environment. But yes, the overriding message is one of success. It's one of growth, and that's done through both organic growth, but also through acquisition growth.
We have to see something here, and we don't have much time, so because we need to go to the next place. And I think it was really interesting conversation with you, Justin. So thank you. But you said yourself that you were just pushing the buttons, right?
Well, it's so easy.
Nigel does so much more than that. So,
but today he's pushing the buttons, right? So she can move on so we can see what is going on the screen.
So anyone that wants to know more about this technology should contact Global Graphics directly, and you can learn about this at globalgraphics.com.
So what is it we see here?
What you're seeing here is the heart of our smart DFE. This is our smart print controller. And what Nigel's doing here is there was a job in the waiting queue. We're able to just go in, have a quick look at that job to visualize it. And you can see that it's full of variable data content. Every single page on that file is variable. We can look at it in the layers. You know, there's all sorts of areas that we can look at. We can eliminate areas that we may want to look at. But this is just a simple preview of the document.
And the layers that you see, is that, I mean, I just saw that it was, the layers are basically, is that the layers from the original PDF? So you basically maintain, is that after it's been ripped that you still maintain the layers, or?
No,
this is pre-rip.
Pre-rip, okay.
Yeah, so this is coming in, this is using one of our PDF technologies to be able to read the content of the PDF. Yeah. Just provide a thumbnail on there to give you just assurance that that's the job that you want to print.
I was more curious about, because I thought that, okay, if you were able to actually post-rip, see all the layers still, I just thought that was pretty smart.
Okay. So what we'll do now is we'll just send that to the print queue, and we'll send this to print. Now, what's going to happen now is that we're going to start the Harlequin Direct. Harlequin Direct is the variant of the Harlequin rip that we've already said is the world's fastest rip technology, and we're going to start to print that file, and we've got a simulation here of the print, the printing machine.
Okay, so that is like an emulation of it, basically.
Yeah. So at the moment that's just the screensaver. We're just going to restart our.
Oh yeah,
we love live demonstrations.
Yeah, we love them too. So.
But what we're going to do is we're going to rip and screen within memory, because with these large variable data files, if you have to write to disk, read from disk, it takes lots of time.
Even with SSDs, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
So this is a live rip?
This is live ripping and screening, and you can see all the variable content on here. Yeah. But any customer, if you were only printing at that speed, isn't going to be very impressed. So what we do is we're now ripping and screening at beyond 300 meters a minute. Wow. Okay, with full variable data, and more impressively, we're doing that on a i9 level. It's a high-end standard PC. Yeah. So we're not talking about industrial level technology here. So we can deploy. What we do is we make our software as fast as possible, so that you need as little hardware as possible to reduce the bill of materials of your device.
Does that mean that you bypass Windows, or?
No. Well, you can do. You can.
I was just joking.
You can run our technology on Linux if you want to do that. So we support both Windows and Linux. But the fact of the matter is that this is a complete DFE solution that you can either use one of our front ends or treat as a black box and make API calls to create your own front end. But you're going to get to market really, really quick when you've got that challenge of, how do I process the PDF file and get it to the print head?
That's pretty amazing. And I understand why you're smiling, because I mean, it is amazing to see technology at work like this, right? I mean,
this is real raster data that's going to the to the screen.
So the people that should reach out to you in case they're interested is that, I mean, we talked about the engineers and the nerds, but I take that in specific companies that you are. Is it the manufacturers of INKISH?
It's anyone that's manufacturing a digital print device, especially if they're manufacturing something that requires high speed, variable data printing, so single pass devices in particular, or manufacturers that have got a manufacturing production line where they feel that inkjet can add value to that process and they want to be able to insert a printing subsystem. So they're really the two constituents that are here, that are coming to talk to us, and we'd love those conversations with as many people that want to come and pick our brains as possible.
Fantastic. Justin,
well,
thank you.
I hope it's been useful.
Great to meet you. I don't know about your thing, but I think it was just a wonderful presentation from Justin here, and basically I think this is something where you can probably just leave that for a second. It's just because everybody wants to take off the microphone while we are on, and we just don't want that sound. So no. So basically, I think that's, you know, when you see software like this and you talk to people so knowledgeable that Justin and Nigel here, you understand that, of course, this is just a scratch in the surface. You need to go and talk to these people to learn more, in particular if in the field where this is something that you could need for your business, your product development, thing like that. So just want to thank you very much. It's been wonderful to learn a little bit more about this. And now we are going to hall 1, I think, to visit, let's see, I can't remember. This is Morten from INKISH TV, and I am at Roland DG's booth. And I have to make a full disclaimer because we're going to talk to Anders Mydtskov, who is CEO and President of Roland DG North Europe, right?
Yeah, but my main role now today is in fact being the sales director of all EMEA.
Fantastic.
As well. So.
Yeah. So the reason why I say I want to do a disclaimer is because Anders and I, we worked together when I was the marketing manager for Roland musical division many years ago.
Yeah.
And we haven't changed a bit, right?
Not at all.
Not at all. So if we have a strange accent, it's because we're both Danes and we probably forget to talk English from time to time, right?
Could be, yeah.
Anders, when we worked together long time ago, Roland DG was a tiny little company, right?
Yeah. It has been growing up, I can say.
Yeah.
With many more new products. Also being here at the FESPA show here has been a fantastic experience as well. All of us have been coming out of the COVID.
Before we talk about that, I just want to hear a little bit because when I ask about that it was a tiny little company, it's just because what I always liked about Roland, and it's both from the musical side and also from all the other sides, now with DG of course, it is like you have, I think, a particular good eye for innovation and something that is really works for customers, right?
Exactly.
Is that the secret sauce?
It is the secret sauce. I would say also our focus is so much on the customers and also all the applications that they are providing, in fact. So we're looking at the customers and trying to provide exactly what they need to have a good business as well.
Now we spoke about the secret sauce and the customer thing. I think that another thing that I also find virtue with Roland is the patience to grow a market, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We are definitely investing into markets and also into new areas to see them grow. And we have been quite successful with many of the things, so we can be happy here.
Yeah, and some of the things I always notice when I go to Roland DG, I don't want, it's because I'm from the music industry, so DG.
Yeah, DG, exactly.
I just say Roland from now on, right?
That's a good idea.
So when we go to and watch the Roland products, I also think that in the history of Roland, you have been quite innovative with some technologies that have given you like a head start in some of the segments that we're now to see at FESPA, right?
Exactly, but one of the new things that we are providing up here is the new TrueVis 3. Also a printer and a cutter in the same machine here.
In one machine, like in the good old days.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like a new thing in that aspect here, but it's a new generation of the machines with a lot of improvements where we have also been listening to the customers.
That's good. So now let's talk about FESPA. You have a fantastic booth here, right?
Yeah, but we are very proud of the booth here, and also it has been nice to see that we have had such a busy days here.
Yeah.
In fact, also on an exhibition nowadays to collect orders, which we in fact also have been doing.
Oh, so you're ringing the bells?
Exactly, yeah. So this is nice, and the very attention that we have had here as well is within the new TrueVis 3 machine, which I will show you a little bit later.
Yeah, we should see it, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So a lot of customers, a lot of interesting products. Are you also introducing new stuff here, or?
Yeah, the TrueVis 3.
That is like a new thing.
That's a new thing here. But then, of course, we have all the other products here, and also, like everyone else, for a couple of years, because of the COVID, then it have not been possible to go to many exhibitions. But in fact, already this year here, we have been to almost 10 exhibitions already.
You've been busy, right?
Yeah, so we have been very busy. But also during the Corona time here, what was really a happy thing for us was that we could see that because we are selling printers, and we had a steady flow in selling the inks. So some things was happening during the COVID time because people were looking into new segments. Of course, we all know that there needs to be this distance stripes on floors and shops and everything here. So business have been running. So in that sense, business was not slowing down, but what we can see now is in fact that business is going up.
So you can say that the baseline has increased because you have been able to have a steady supply of materials, and now the machines that have been in market from here, now they need to be replaced, right?
Exactly.
Or new customers as well.
It has also new customers coming in.
And what is it like, if you look at Roland, because I don't know if it's right, but I always consider Roland as a high-end, high-quality starting. So it's not like cheap products, and it's maybe not the most expensive either, but it's in the higher end of the good things, right?
It is in the high end of the quality.
Yeah.
In that sense. So we
is it
have
still like quality that drives the innovation and the reason why people invest, or?
For sure, also, yeah. And then also at the same time, we have a very loyal customer base, and also a very loyal partner network, which we have been working with for many, many years, who knows our products in and out. And then we have been very happy to say that we can show many different aspects now within the business here, where all the personalization things, which is also coming more and more up for the things, we have machine for that area as well.
Should we take a look at some of the machines?
I think that
should
would be.
Should we start with the big one?
I think that would be appropriate.
Yeah. So what is it that you are presenting here?
Up here, but first of all, I would like to say that we have members of our teams here from all the different countries within Europe.
Yeah.
Of course, also we have visitors from our Japanese headquarters.
Of course.
Which is, of course, also paying the attention.
Yeah.
Things here. But if we go this way here, have to take you a little bit out to the hallway here.
So this is like this is the new baby.
This is the new TrueVis 3.
Yeah.
Which is the new generation of TrueVis here, which was already successful. But now we have been putting it in here with upgraded things here, including take-up and stuff like this.
Okay, so that makes it more, basically it both creates an easier environment for the operators, but it also makes it faster to have a faster turnaround on products? Or?
Exactly, but also one of the things here that I can tell, when you're talking about efficiency, the machine here is capable of course printing on the vinyl, for instance, and also many other materials. One of the things that we have also implemented here is that you can make a cut around the things here. So I will try to find a sticker here. So the machine in itself can print out, then of course make the cutting here, but then in fact also in the material, it put up some liners here, so in fact you can just press out.
Okay, so you think, that's smart. Yeah.
And then you just have this that you can give to your customers. And this is also to make production more efficient.
And because this is something that you would typically do in an offline process or in an analog process, right? Now you have everything in one device.
In one thing here.
Yeah.
So you take out the sheet and then you press out the material and then you have the decals that you can give away here.
What kind of customers is this machine for?
There's many different customers, but of course one of the base segments are of course the design makers. But we see the machines goes into many places, also the advertisement companies as well. We also use it, graphical houses are having them as well. Also because many of the customers are of course also printing out on vinyl to place on cars.
Okay, so they can be used for all these kind of applications.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's when you look into this market, I mean, this is smart, of course, but is it also in the segment that you operate? Is like one thing is of course the quality, but it's also speed and total cost of economy and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But how does it compete? I mean, because we're here at FESPA, as we spoke about, and I think it's so great to be at a trade show again. But what I also find quite interesting is that such a diversity of machines from all the manufacturers. Yeah. I hope also you have time to go and see some of them because it's quite interesting to learn from. Right?
I have taken a tour around.
You have
as well.
Already. Okay, yeah. And I was just like, so when people see things like this, I was just wondering, okay, why should they choose working with Roland? You can probably explain that very good, right?
One of the things that I would like to say here is also that lately, there have been that everyone have been somehow suffering a bit from the components that they need to have. But what I'm very proud of telling you is that during the time here, it seems that we have grown the market share as well. So even
even though the market is growing, you also take shares anyway.
We have taken shares also because we have been capable of delivering.
So that is of course a very important part.
At the same time, we are also having a very healthy back order log for this new machinery here.
Oh, that's nice.
Which we are also looking forward to deliver here.
Yeah, of course. And when customers, are you introducing it here at FESPA?
We have introduced it before, but it's one of the first international shows where we have been able to do it.
Okay. So it is already now being delivered?
It is being delivered.
Yeah. Okay. So what else do we have here, Anders?
But we have so many different kinds of products.
I know that, but we have time, so don't worry. Yeah.
Of course, also the UV machinery.
Yeah.
Which can also print on many different kind of substrates.
And always it looks so cool when you have this kind of substrates, right?
Yeah. And of course you know that the UV technology is where you are putting down the ink and then the lightning.
Yeah, you're cured with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the LEDs and the print headers, is that something that you develop yourself or have you OEMs on this? Or?
Everything like this is to be asked by the headquarters.
Okay. We will not ask now then. We'll take it another day, right? And of course textile. Of course Roland also has to be in textile.
We also have the textile machinery.
And when you're responsible for sales in the EMEA, I mean, do you handle all the products and services that you do, or is it just specific segments?
No, in fact, what I'm responsible for are the DP products.
Okay.
So it's within that segment.
Okay.
Because Roland is also delivering many other things, and then there's service departments, and there's different things here. So in this setup here, we're also having a quite nice group of what we call heads of sales in each market. And even though that I'm the sales director for EMEA, then I also have people reporting to me. And we have one which is called the Public Cosmetico, which is taking care about all the emerging markets within EMEA.
Okay.
He's the sales director for that part.
Okay.
Then there's another guy based in Barcelona, which is also reporting to me. And he's taking care about all the mature markets.
Okay, but so you divide your market more into the geographies rather than the products, or
exactly. It is more to have to focus in the right areas.
Yeah. And here on this machine, so here you basically have 4 trays, so you can print different t-shirts.
In fact, also many more in there.
Okay, because you have another side as well.
Yeah.
So you can go forth and back.
And you can see that the printing here is beautiful.
Yeah, it is definitely. And this is not UV. This is some kind of polymer.
But I think that if we take more of the tour here.
What about all the software that drives this? Is also Roland software? Or?
We are carrying, for the majority of the machines, we have the WorkSource software, which is also here.
Yeah.
This is also another machine which is within the textile industry as well.
Oh, so roll to roll, basically.
Yeah.
So this is a sublimation, basically, right?
Just down from this here, you can feel the paper here for that purpose here.
Yeah.
And of course I can have,
that's fine.
I would like to. Then of course also we have all the good old cutters here.
Yeah.
It's not old.
But the good, but the good cutters.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, fantastic.
And of course this is also the segment that we're working into.
Yeah. How is the competition for you in the segment? Because I mean, as you show here, you have a very wide variation of products. I mean, how is it from a competitive perspective?
Of course, it's clear that there is competition.
Yeah.
But it's also quite clear that we are handling the things in a good manner.
Okay. Okay. So, and the rest I talked to Japan about, right?
Yes. And then also I would just we have a gimmick up here.
Okay, a gimmick. Okay. Oh, it's the VR thing.
The gimmick up here is the Roland coaster.
The Roland coaster.
And of course, this is the gimmick where we in fact are taking people in, put them into the seat, and then they're having this virtual tour.
Yeah.
And at the same time, what you can see up here is that then we are driving through the new machinery with the focus on the Truvis tree.
Okay, so you basically, that's a very fast tour de Roland, right? Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
That's fun and fantastic. So, Anders,
Should we take it because we have plenty of products. This is also machinery which is UV based.
And you know, I saw them the first time when Roland was exhibiting some years ago in Brussels. And that was like you saw a full tray of mobile phone covers because you can print on the thickness of thing. And I thought that, that's pretty cool because you have something that is not too big in size and still you can have a very good quality.
And this is of course also very much into the personalization of the things here.
Yeah. But they are still pretty expensive, aren't they? Or is it still like... and I mean, expensive is not... I mean, I know that when you buy things like this, you have to have, of course, an ROI and you have a business model for it. But this is not like an entry-level product, right?
In fact, also, customers which didn't have the product before have been buying this machine as well.
Okay.
Also
because when I saw it was just fantastic to have
also for gift purpose, and the people are wanting to. You can see we have many of the applications up here.
Yeah.
People printing on golf balls.
It's even printed on the wall. What's it called? The wallet.
Yeah, because you can also have a rolling device in there, a rotary device.
Okay, so it can do more things than just the flat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Then I think. This is one of the flatbed machines.
Okay.
And this also have been extremely popular, or are very popular in Europe. Yeah. We are selling so many of these.
Okay.
Also because if you go up here, if I take a couple of the samples.
Oh, you can print on this thickness here?
You can also, and I wanted to show you this one up here. For instance.
So even layers things you can print?
Yes, so you can see here that on a light switch, where I can go in here and do things. And then also because nowadays, everyone are talking about the personalization of the stuff here. Where people have the opportunity of putting the logo and the things for these kind of markets here. And you can see here on the wood here as well, it's a beautiful print.
Yeah, it is, definitely, 100%. Okay, so Anders, what I have learned already now is that you will not be unemployed for the next time. You have a lot of things to sell, right?
Definitely.
Fantastic. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Okay.
Thank you.
And have a wonderful 1.5 day left.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also I hope you'll be busy around here.
I'm sure we will. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Just hang on a second so we can take your microphone. Yeah. This was my old colleague Anders. We're both from Denmark, so stupid accent. No, it's not stupid accent. No, it's the best accent. It was wonderful to see Roland with all the equipment they have and all the applications they can print. So really cool, and thank you very much, Anders. Great to see you. You may think that, well, is this something like you have already seen because we are at the Mimaki booth? No, this is not the same interview. It's actually with a guy called Mark. And Mark, you have promised to show us, first we start with a painting, right? But before we do that, why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit? Who are you? What do you do?
Okay, thank you, Morten. I'm Mark Sollman, I'm product manager EMEA at Mimaki Europe, and responsible for the products and the introduction of all the products. And I would like to guide you a little bit through our concept. And our concept is that not only showing the machines, but especially what you can do with the machines, and also focus on what the customers are doing with the machines.
Yeah, when I saw with your colleague the other day, when I see what I like about your booth, I said that also in the previous interview, was basically that you see, when you see what you can do with the technology available today, it's mind-blowing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you can print on literally everything, and I think your colleague said it's just a matter of imagination, basically, right? But we are here with a very, very beautiful painting, and you wanted us to start here.
Yeah.
So why is this important to the booth?
We started with the application team and all the marketing team with this specific image, and we are working with the artist Nikki. And this is the base of our concept. So from this piece of art, we are printing on sublimation, the dresses are printed, the UV, solvent.
So when you look at a dress like her, then it's basically like a fraction, or is it
fraction
just
or a zoom from that painting, and that's why we. So let's have a look at the application side here,
sure,
inside.
Yeah.
So this is our customer gallery, and what
we have the bird there, of course, yeah.
And what we try to show here is what we can do with the machines.
Yeah.
And this will also open up for end users who are not really convinced to invest. Okay, I can also do this with the machines. So it's a win-win situation. And next to that, we will show what you can do with the machines, as it is sublimation or 3D printed technology.
But 3D printing, is that new to Mimaki or relatively new? Or?
Since a year or three, we are making 3D printers, full color 3D.
Okay. So this is basically comes out of the machine like this, or?
No.
Okay.
But let's walk a little bit later.
I was just too curious, I think, right?
It is based on the platform of UV technology. The only thing is that we are building in layers, and everything is surrounded with support material.
Ah, okay. And then you have to dust it off, kind of thing.
Yeah, and this can be easily washed off with water, and then you have the UV 3D. But if you look at the quality, it's just amazing.
It looks just really cool.
So this will open up a lot of new technologies and new applications.
I mean, you had a bit smaller booth at FESPA in Amsterdam, right?
Yes, we have.
So when you carry the concept with you at exhibitions, it always starts with a painting, or
for now a painting, or with the artist,
Yeah.
or the impression of what the application team can do.
Yeah.
But it's also good for us to work with artists and designers, because they have a totally different look and feel on products and application, and it will also open our imagination and designs.
Sometimes they may not even think of it as a product, right?
Yeah, and they do not think sublimation needs to go on polyester or textile pigment on cotton. They just think about what is the end product.
And what I like about it is also supporting artists, right?
Yeah. So they're very happy with it, and hopefully we will for sure do this concept more and more.
And I like to see, and I want to learn more, but I mean, we're going to see some machinery in a moment, but I was just thinking, if you think of Mimaki as a supplier to market, it's a Japanese company, but you have a wide range of applications and products that you can basically support, right?
Mostly my story is that if you come to our showroom or to our booth, we have something for everybody, as it is for 3042 UV to 1.6 sublimation to roll solvent to 3.2 textile. I think if you come to our booth, we try to have a solution for everybody, and not only nice products, but also really innovative products.
Yeah, and I can't help thinking about, because one thing is that you see, I would about to say in quotation, the haute couture, but I mean, what is important is, of course, that you also is a supplier to the industry, where you basically deliver machines that are very, very capable of doing bread and butter business, so you can make all kinds of applications, right? Not just the fine thing here, right?
That's correct. And the more you see, not only from us but also from the competition, is that people are working that the machines needs to be uninterrupted printing. So without human interference. So we slightly go to automation and adding robotics to our machines, and that's a really nice feature where this is really the future.
My background is in the commercial print, and I mean, for a long time there's been also an automation route. Is that also, when it comes to the software thing in the large format area that you work, is that also more and more software and automation?
Yeah, that's correct. So what we did on our latest UV or industrial products is that we opened the machines so they are ready for integrate with MDL commands or other automations.
Okay, so the machines can then be integrated into whatever workflow you
robotics
have.
Or the competition with finishing or cutting machines, so they can work together.
Okay,
and that's new in the industry, and I think this is a really trend for the future for everybody.
Fantastic. Let's see some more, right? Yeah. I mean, you have more to show, I'm sure, right?
So let's go to. So this is the UV. It makes a little bit noise because we are at the back side of the printer.
Should be okay.
So what we try to show again is diverse type of media. If it is mirror or wood, lenticular.
And that is printed, or?
Yeah, this is printed on mirror.
On mirror. Okay.
Yeah.
So you make the mirror first, and then basically, wow.
Yeah.
That looks.
And
so
if you look at this piece of art, this is printed on die bond, and we call it 2.5D. So this is a texture maker.
2.5D.
And this is 15 layers of UV ink.
Really? Okay. So that is where you also, when you have both 3D print and all the knowledge about UV print, basically you utilize that into technology that brings. Okay.
And it's good to see that you can, no matter what is the application.
So cool.
We can print on it.
Yeah.
So the biggest challenge for us is the imagination of the artist, of the designer.
And how difficult is it to sell? I mean, I'm just thinking, if you look at a show like this, there's so many fantastic vendors here, right? So what is the biggest challenge to get to market?
For us, it's two things. For us, it's, if we look at UV, we have a diverse type of ink. We do not believe that one ink is capable to print on every
so that basically
application.
Means, so you choose also the ink with the machine depending on what kind of application you
have. For example, we have a hard ink, which is better for plexiglass. We have a flexible ink for PVC and an ultra flexible ink for thermoforming. And next to that, this is our business model, is that we work closely with our partners, because we believe that everybody can sell a machine, but it needs to be running, up and running. And if you have some issues with it, we have immediately trained people in our business model who can help you.
Fantastic. And I mean, when you look at it, it's just stunning, right? I mean, I take also you spend a little time to make sure that it was perfect for FESPA.
Of course. Yeah. This is not the only printed piece. We have a few more in our showroom.
And the hat started red, right? But it is great because I mean it's almost kind of a museum perspective you have, because when you see that fantastic gallery you have there, it's just, I think it's very innovative and beautiful. So
thank you, Morten.
Hats off for you on that one.
This is especially what we try to create and what we try to have.
And I think it's great also because I mean, of course you come to FESPA to see machines. But to get the inspiration for how to monetize from all the applications available is I think maybe it's something that the industry should be better at, because now we are promoting this to fellow printers, right? But all the people outside the halls should know what you can do, right?
And it's not only because we see, and also the competition, that it's kind of changing the market, not only for digital and sign, but we have a lot of customers with the strangest things from industry or.
So sometimes you're contacted by a customer saying that I have this crazy idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And this will open up if it is from 3D to UV or textile. So it's really nice to work in this industry.
You're obviously one of the gold sponsors here at FESPA, but I was just wondering, is Mimaki a huge company, or have you just been good at positioning yourself in a niche, or?
Yeah, we are in the industry quite a huge company, and what makes the company very special is that, I tell this because I work for Mimaki, but what we do is mostly 90 or 95% of every machine is made by ourselves.
Yeah.
So we start with a piece of metal, and eventually we will finish the machine.
And of course that requires also a certain size, because I mean to have CNC machines and have blade folding machines and all that thing requires some volume.
We have a high precision company in Japan, and that is
Where in Japan
amazing.
are you located?
The main office is in Nanako.
Okay. Yeah. We have been in Japan many times, and we went to see another competitor, so I can tell the name. It was with Horizon doing binding machines, and it was great to get into the company and see how they manufacture rolls and how they do the bending and how everything works. And I think that sometimes, to surprise, you see machines and it looks like, oh, this is a finished machine. But when you go to a factory, see how it's made, it's actually very industrial, right?
If you think about that, in the whole industry, if you have a printhead and you have a nozzle and it needs to be fired, and sometimes you need to fire like 5,000 dots in a millisecond.
It's amazing.
It's an amazing technology.
Are you using your own printheads, or are you using OEMs, or?
We use OEM printheads, and we try to focus on what is the ink and what is the quality, what we like to show. So we have not only one printhead manufacturer.
You basically, when you decide for a segment in the market you want to address for what types of application, then you basically find the right set of components for it, of course. Yeah.
And what we then, and then the next step is that we are not using only the printheads, but we are also writing our own waveform. So the combination of the ink, machine and printhead. Yeah. And that's something which is also special in the market.
Yeah. So what do we see here?
This is our JFX 600. This is a UV flatbed machine. Table size is 2.5 by 1.3. And we can have a production speed of around 100 square meter an hour.
Nice.
So let's go to our latest technology.
Yeah.
Watch out for the people, Morten. It seems that it's more busy than yesterday today.
It is nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not school kids, you know. It's not school kids this year, right?
No. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So this is the new baby, or?
So to end up, we have newly introduced the 330 series, and this is based on a cross-platform technology. So for now we have a solvent printer, we have a solvent cutting and printer, and we have the textile printer based on this platform.
Okay, but is it 3 different machines, or is it all in one machine?
No, it's 3 different machines, but on the same platform.
Okay.
And the nice thing is that we have a newly designed printhead with 3 picoliter. It's the smallest dot size. So it's not that the machine only goes faster, but also the quality is getting better.
So both speed and quality. That's nice, right? Yeah.
And next to that, we have now integrated XY cutter, so it can finish directly.
Finish directly. Yeah. And these type of hybrid machines where you have both cutter and printer in one thing, is that a growing demand for this machine? Because I mean, I've seen it from other manufacturers. It's been around for years, But is there a change also when we spoke about the automation level, and basically you get a finished product out of it, right?
It is listening to the customers that they would like to have, and it's merging the technologies in the industry.
I just need to see this because there's actually. I mean, because this shows basically that you get like a finished product out of the machine, right?
Immediately.
Yeah, and super quality and very consistent in everything, right? Yeah. So how difficult is it to make a machine like this? I know that you're probably not as an engineer, but I mean, I was just thinking, is it like years that it takes into development of a new machine, or?
Yeah, mostly it will take a year of 2.5, 3,
okay,
depending
so
on the platform.
Okay.
But that's also something which we do. If we have the cross-platform technology, we can also use parts from other machines.
Of course, yeah. And is this platform, is that replacing something or is it adding something?
This is adding, good question.
Yeah.
This is adding in, we are very successful with the 100 series. This is an entry-level machine which we have in solvent, sublimation and UV. And this is the next level for people who would like to have more production and a better workflow.
So working in sales makes you more busy now, right? Because now you need to sell to more customers,
yes.
Right? Yeah,
it is.
Constant pressure, right? But are things from a business perspective going well for Mimaki?
It is. It were difficult times, not only for Mimaki, I think it's for the whole industry.
I think you're right.
We have similar problems to get the items to the customer. But we are very happy with our partners that they were doing a lot of work to help everybody. But yeah, it was a struggle. But I think that the industry came back. I think it started last year at FESPA Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I think
you were there too, or?
Yes, yes, because it's our hometown.
Of course, you have to be there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was our first show also in a long time. So we were actually filming from Mimaki, but it never got online because it was not live. So I don't know why it was not approved. I think it was a great interview we did. Can't remember with who, but that's another story, right? So yeah. But fantastic. Oh, and there you have. That is a 3D printer.
Yeah. Shall we end up with the 3D? So this is the 3D, and it's based on the platform of the UV flatbed. So I will open it up.
I'm just about to say that it reminds me about the Matrix.
So this is how it is created. So it is printed with support material around it. So think about if you start printing with a table and you are at the top surface.
Yeah.
If you do not have support material, it will fall down.
Yes. So that is to keep everything
aligned
until you're finished with it, basically.
And it's UV with LED curing.
Yeah.
And it is an ABS resin.
Okay.
So when you wash it off with water, then you have the finished part, and this is to see what is the inside like.
Okay. It's amazing to see, and things like this. I mean, I can tell you, the first time I saw industrial scale 3D printing was in Dubai. I visited a printing company. I call it a printing company because they refer to themselves as a printing company, and they were printing spare parts for F-16 fighters.
Really, they are.
And I was just at that point, you're thinking that, okay, 3D print, where can it take? Where can it be taken? Can I touch this?
Yeah. So this is a combination of printing clear liquid, varnish, full color, and white.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it will open up a lot of markets like gaming industry, medical.
Yeah, but I was also thinking when I see this, I think that when you spoke about the 2.5D a moment ago. I mean, I think the R&D that you put into machines like this would also give you a lot of knowledge that you can use in some of your other areas where you have a installed base, and it must be very good for you.
Next to a lot of enthusiasm and headache to develop, also a lot of knowledge.
Did you buy yourself into this area, or is it something that has been?
No, it is something which we developed by ourselves, and it's based because we already could print like UV on a flatbed. So you knew, of course. So we knew how to build up the layers.
Yeah. And is this a machine that is on market now and is selling, or is it more for showing? Or?
No, this is selling since 1 year.
Oh, really? Okay. And how is the market for these type of products?
Developing. It is a lot of testing and finding the finding the correct customers for it.
Yeah. I can imagine. Fantastic. I mean, it's people sometimes are jealous with me because I travel so much. I say, don't be jealous. What is more interesting for me is getting to learn. I have learned a lot from you today. So
thank you, Martin.
I appreciate your time.
Okay. Thank you for your time, and hope to see you next time.
I hope so too.
And come visit Mimaki.
Yeah.
We still have 1.5 days.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much. I mean, wasn't this just great? Fabulous 3D printing, fantastic large format printing, and I really like the applications. I really like the integration of artistic work into the branding of Mimaki. So really great and great introduction, Mark. Super fine. Now we're going to Kornit to have a demo of some of their fantastic equipment. So let's move on. Es tut mir leid, aber ich muss sagen, dass ich bin nicht sehr gut am Deutsch, aber ich habe mit Angelo gesagt, dass okay, wir sollen dieses Interview in Deutsch machen. Und für unsere englischen Gäste, tut mir leid, friends. You cannot listen and understand to anything that we're talking about right now, but that's life. Angelo, wonderful booth here. Dann habe ich...
Ja, that's okay.
Nein, es ist sehr toll. Ich mag die Farben von den Maschinen. Ich mag, aber erzähl ein bisschen über Aeoon und wer bist du?
So, Aeoon ist eine Firma, die... Muss ich da reinschauen? Oder
hier, Amit. Ja.
Aeoon ist eine Firma, die 2011 gegründet worden ist. Ursprünglich kommen wir...
So 11 Jahre alt.
11 Jahre alt. Ursprünglich kommen wir aus der Siebdruckgeschichte.
Als ein Hersteller auch? Oder?
Nein, ich habe für einen Hersteller gearbeitet, für einen sehr namhaften Hersteller. Und dann hat sich das ergeben und dann haben wir halt angefangen, das Ganze digital abzubilden.
So es war, wenn es war gegründet, dann war es am digitale Technologie vom ersten?
Genau.
Ja, genau, okay. Und wenn man in diesem Markt arbeitet, du hast selber mit Siebdruck gearbeitet, welche KPIs ist meistens wichtig für einen Kunden? Du hast selber einen Kunden geworden, ja?
Ja, richtig. Also was wichtig ist, ist natürlich der Output. Also du möchtest möglichst viele Stücke pro Stunde drucken können, in bester Qualität und mit geringen Kosten. Das ist das, was jeder will.
Und ist das schwer zum Erreichen? Oder?
Es ist für uns nicht schwer zu erreichen.
Okay.
Ich glaube, wir haben immer noch die schnellste Digitaldruckmaschine für Stückgut am Markt.
Okay.
Und ja, wir fühlen uns wohl darin.
Okay. Und ist da eine Secret Sauce, weil sie so erfolgreich ist? Oder?
Ich glaube nicht. Ich glaube nicht. Wir haben einfach ein wunderbares Team.
Ja, okay. Und wenn man diese Maschinen ansehen, welche Technologie, kann du erklären ein bisschen, was sehen wir hier?
Okay, also wir bauen nur industrielle Digitaldruckmaschinen.
So ist es für große Unternehmen oder für spezialisierte Unternehmen, die euer Kunden
für
ist?
Für kleine und für große
Unternehmen. So Sie haben in verschiedene Preisleger auch Maschinen?
Ja. Ja, also wir haben die kleinste Digitaldruckmaschine für den industriellen Markt, genauso wie eine mittlere und eine sehr große.
Okay.
High-End.
Und so hier hat man eine Frame und da hat man eine Textil, ja? Und das ist gedruckt natürlicherweise.
Genau.
Und das ist ein Inkjet.
Das ist richtig, also wir verwenden unterschiedliche Druckköpfe in unseren Maschinen. Also wir passen das System dem Kunden an und prinzipiell, was wir machen, ist, wir drucken einen weißen Unterleger und dann drucken wir mit Farbe drauf. Ja.
Und ich glaube, dass wenn wir mit anderen in dieser Industrie sprechen, dann ist es sehr wichtig, dass man eine gute weiße Farbe haben, weil sie muss trocken und
exakt, ja, du musst eine schöne, weiße, solide Unterlage drucken können. Was wir nicht machen ist, wir drucken nicht vollflächig, Wir wollen nicht Tinte
So ist es nur, wenn man es braucht?
Ja, also es nennt sich Smart Underbase. Das ist, was wir vorwiegend verkaufen. Dadurch spart man sehr viel Tinte ein und die Qualität ist unschlagbar.
Und wenn ein Kunde solche eine Maschine kaufen, ist das Geschwindigkeit oder ist es Qualität oder eine Kombination?
Das ist ein Kompromiss aus beiden. Also wir wollen deshalb industriell gefertigte Maschinen für den industriellen Bereich. Wir wollen ein zuverlässiges Produkt anbieten. Also du kannst diese Maschinen 24 Stunden, 7 Tage die Woche ohne Problem betreiben. Und trotzdem muss es in einem Preisgefüge sich befinden, das akzeptabel ist für den Kunden.
Selbstverständlich.
Ja.
Und ich kann mich sehr erinnern, weil Sie kommen aus Österreich, ja?
Ja.
Aber Sie sprechen Deutsch. Nicht Österreich-Deutsch, ja. Dann könnte ich nicht verstehen, ja. Aber seit 11 Jahren produzieren Sie auch die Maschine in Österreich? Oder?
Ja, also wir sind ja sehr stark mit unserer Heimat verbunden.
Ja.
Deshalb
ganz viele Leute in Österreich ist mit dem Heimat gebunden. Ja.
Deswegen 75% aller Komponenten, die in der Maschine verbaut sind, kommen aus einem Radius von 50 Kilometern.
Okay.
Ja.
So dein Unternehmen hat eine große, was soll man sagen, einen Einfluss am die Städte rund eurem Unternehmen, ja?
Ja, auf jeden Fall.
Und wie viele Leute haben Sie angestellt?
Wir haben ungefähr 60 Leute in Österreich.
Okay.
Wir haben noch etliche mehr im Ausland.
Ja. Und Sie verkaufen ganz Welt, oder?
Wir verkaufen auf der ganzen Welt.
Okay. Und ich muss fragen, weil ich glaube, dass wenn man hier am FESPA ist, dann sieht man ganz viele Hersteller. Ja. Und es ist vielleicht ein bisschen schwer, wenn man nur passieren, die Zwischenhalten ein bisschen zwischen den Maschinen zu sehen.
Ja.
Warum soll man diese Maschinen? Ich verstehe, dass das muss mit die KPIs du schon hier rüber gesagt, aber es gibt so viele Konkurrenten. Es muss schwierig sein, diese Position zu kriegen.
Ja, es ist immer wieder eine Herausforderung. Also man muss sich halt immer wieder was Neues einfallen lassen, was jetzt positiv für den Kunden ist und auf der anderen Seite auch einen Nutzen fürs Unternehmen bringt natürlich.
Ja. Vielleicht können wir etwas sehen hier.
Ansehen, wenn du möchtest.
So, hier ist natürlicherweise ein Trockner.
Kleiner Messetrockner gehört natürlich auch dazu. Guckst du?
Ja, Sie haben gerade hinten die Klappen auf.
Ja.
So, erzähl, was wir hier sehen.
Ja, hier seht ihr eine Maschine, die bei uns unter dem Namen Link geführt wird. Diese Maschine ist eigentlich gemacht für das Online-Geschäft. Online-Drucker haben alle notwendigen Informationen, oder wir visualisieren für die Online-Drucker alle notwendigen Informationen auf dem Display.
Ja, das habe ich nicht so, das ist ganz neu, oder ich habe es nicht gesehen früher.
Ja, eigentlich ist es nicht neu, wir haben es schon ein paar Jahre.
Aber es sieht gut aus und dann weiß man, was man erwarten hier.
Du siehst den Namen, dann hast du natürlich auch die Anzahl an Drucker, die du machen musst. Du siehst das Farbset.
Ja. Okay, und hier kommt der Ibiza.
Genau, jetzt siehst du auf der rechten Seite den Job, der gerade gearbeitet wird oder abgearbeitet wird. Und auf der linken Seite siehst du den nächsten Job.
Ja, okay. Und hier ist es mit Fucht.
Ja, Luftbefeuchtung.
Luftbefeuchtung, ja. Und das ist zum die richtigen Environment machen für Drucken in hohes Qualität, oder?
Naja, wir versuchen natürlich dem Kunden jetzt das Ganze etwas einfacher zu machen als normalerweise und deshalb rüsten wir die Maschinen mit dem aus, was benötigt wird.
Okay. Und ist das ganz normal, wenn man diese Drucktechniken anwenden, oder ist das etwas Spezielles für euch? Oder?
Also wir verwenden ja nur pigmentbasierende Tinten.
Okay.
Pigmentbasierende Tinten brauchen eine bestimmte Luft. Ja. Sind wir im Weg.
Und dann, wenn es gedruckt wird, dann muss man in den Trockner, oder?
Genau.
Dann ist es schon nass, ja?
Es geht danach in den Trockner rein und dann hast du im Prinzip ein T-Shirt, das du halt wirklich gleich verwenden kannst.
Ja. Und in eurer Unternehmen ist selbstverständlich hier die Maschinen, wie mit Verbrauch, die Inks und so, ist das auch etwas, das Sie machen, oder?
Natürlich, also wir bauen nicht nur Drucker, Und wir bauen alles andere, was notwendig ist, um eine Druckerei zu betreiben. Also man kann bei uns eine komplette Druckerei bestellen. Und wir liefern natürlich auch alle Verbrauchsmaterialien wie Tinten oder Reinigungsflüssigkeiten oder Vorbehandlungsflüssigkeiten. Das bekommt man alles bei uns aus einer Hand.
Okay. Lass uns, Sie haben Probstes hier. Ist ein Probstes in Deutsch oder ein Sample oder was ist?
Ja, Muster.
Muster, ja. So haben Sie auch Muster hier? Ja.
Wir können uns das ansehen, wenn du möchtest. Let us grab some designs. So.
Das ist mich.
So. Hier ist ein fotorealistischer Druck. Also unsere Spezialität sind Haut- und Goldtöne.
Schön.
Ja. Das würde dir einen Eindruck vermitteln, wenn du ein Foto druckst auf ein...
Und das ist gut, weil man braucht nicht diesen Plastik oder so. Das ist nur am...
das Handgefühl ist ganz wichtig.
Ja. Und ist das schwer zu erreichen, wenn man...
Man muss schon ein bisschen üben, dass man das erreichen kann.
Aber deine Vorzeiten, wo du hast mit Siebdruck gearbeitet, ich glaube, dass es gibt ganz viele Vorteile für dich. Ja?
Natürlich. Und es ist auch in unserer Welt, in der digitalen Druckwelt, so, dass viele keine oder sehr wenig Erfahrung mit Textilien haben.
Ja.
Und ich habe das große Glück, dass ich ein Team habe im Aeoon, das halt mit mir Erfahrung gesammelt hat. Auch jetzt schon über 20 Jahre machen wir das. Oder? Das ist jetzt nicht neu. Und deshalb sind die Ergebnisse wirklich gut. Was man noch sehen kann, ist vielleicht das. Ich weiß nicht, ob man das sieht. Aber man kann sehr, sehr feine, dünne Linien drucken.
Und das ist, weil man gute Qualität am Ink oder Tinten und auch mit Druckketten. Ja?
Genau. Ja. Man muss ja dazu sagen, dass alle Tinten, die wir verwenden, alle Flüssigkeiten, GOTS und Ecotex zertifiziert sind.
Ja.
Das ist uns ganz wichtig. Wir wollen jetzt das jetzt auch ein bisschen mehr bewerben, weil es gibt viele, die das nicht haben.
Ja. Wir sind hier am FESPA. Wie hast die ersten 2,5 Tage geworden für euch?
Ja, es war sehr anstrengend. Es war sehr anstrengend.
Das ist auch das erste Mal.
Sehr gute Show.
Ja, okay. Sie haben etwas verkauft oder nur gute...
Ja, wir haben schon ein bisschen was verkauft.
Okay.
Auch, ja.
Und wenn man eine Glück am Zukunft haben, wie sieht es aus von deinen Augen?
Ja, ich glaube, dass sich sehr viel ändern wird in der Druckindustrie. Ich glaube, dass viele überrascht sein werden, was von uns kommen wird. Also wir haben eine sehr klare Vision, wie die Zukunft aussieht für uns und daran arbeiten.
Das ist gut, dann weiß man, was morgens machen. Ja. Fantastisch. Es tut mir leid, dass ich nicht so gut Deutsch spreche, aber ich hoffe, das war gut. Jedenfalls.
Exzellent.
Okay. Angelo, fantastisch. Danke sehr.
Schönen Tag noch.
Einen Moment, ich muss da ein Mikrofon haben. So, einen kleinen Moment. We are back in English, so I wouldn't say that German is my comfort zone, to be honest. And for all the Germans listening to this, I am so sorry. No, we are back to English, and basically, I won't make a quick recap because I think everything here talks very much to itself. High quality. It's really good to see how Aeoon is producing what seems to be very, very high quality products, and it's just great. And now we're going to, actually, I don't think you think of Kornit as a competitor, but we're going to see something from Kornit. Is that?
We should do that.
We should do that.
Yeah.
We do that. We got the permission from Angelo, so thank you. We are back at Kornit's booth here at Hall 27, I think it is. Yeah, and this time I have the pleasure to be meeting with Amit. We're going to see some wonderful products.
Yes, absolutely.
Before we are doing that, tell us a little bit about your role here with Kornit.
Okay, so I've been with Kornit for almost 4 years now. 3 years in Israel in our headquarters as a product marketing manager for DTG. And actually recently moved to Germany to our European office. So now I'm the product marketing and pre-sales manager in our European offices in Düsseldorf, Germany.
Before we see the machines, I was just wondering, when you say pre-sales manager, right?
Okay, yeah.
I was just curious because you're a pre-sales manager. Who are you actually pre-selling to? Ooh, that was a good one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Who are we pre-selling to? So our customers or our prospects are very varied. They can be anywhere from different brands who want to implement printing or our technology through fulfillers or themselves. And it can be all the way down to a fulfiller or somebody who has a print shop who's doing analog screen printing or on-demand production for online. So it's a very wide custom or prospect base, but printing on textile. This is what we do, this is what we do best.
I have a secret for you then.
Okay.
Since you moved to Germany, you will be very busy. There's a lot of potentials there, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the machine. We are here with the Atlas Max.
Yes. So,
one thing is, of course, that you see something that looks really stunning because you're good at design, you're good at UIs and things like that. Can it also print?
Absolutely, it prints beautifully. So the Atlas Max is Kornit's DTG flagship, and it is setting the new standard for on-demand printing in any technology whatsoever. So first of all, the secret for Kornit's printing technology and the thing that we do differently from anybody else is that we're doing the entire process inside the system. So it's a single-step process. You don't need to pre-treat the garments, the shirts, or anything like that. Everything is done inside. So if you look inside, the first stage, once I send the pallet in, it will be pre-treated. At the back over there are sprinklers that will create a coating of pre-treatment.
And the pre-treatment, is that like part of the ink, or is it a separate process?
It is a separate, it's a separate consumable.
Because I think that on some of your other machines, it's part of not of the ink, but it's a process that you basically spray on or put on the dots where you need them. Right?
On our roll-to-roll systems, that is what we do.
Which you will see a bit later, of course.
Get over there and you will see it. Yeah. So here, first we need to do a pre-treatment because fabric is not like paper, it's not a completely flat.
Otherwise it will just...
Otherwise it will just...
not good.
Absorb through, and we want to get a very tight dot gain for the high quality. That is the first stage. Second stage, we are printing white, the white underbase, because our inks are acrylic water-based. So everything is very sustainable, non-toxic. We create our own inks, by the way. We develop and manufacture them. So
pretty fast as well, right?
Yes, it's a very fast system. So it's acrylic water-based inks, so they're actually transparent. So in order to get all the vibrancy and with a good color, you need to create a good white underbase layer, which is we're doing with the white layer.
But you of course only do it where you need them, right? So it's not.
Yes, absolutely. Only under the.
And of course you can see that on the colored t-shirts.
We will talk about this print because this is a very interesting print. So after you do the white underbase, then it moves to the next station and we do the color. The advantage that this is a dual bridge system. So on the back bridge you have the white inks and on the front bridge you have the color inks. You can work, you get better productivity because you don't have to wait for it to complete the entire job before you can start doing the next job.
Plus you also can utilize the print heads better, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. With the Max technology, which is our newest generation of technology, we've added additional 2 consumables. One is the Q-Fix, and the other is the intensifier.
Is that the Q&I you have? Sorry, Chica. Is that the Q&I
exactly.
you have?
That's the Q&I here. What you see here is a display. We call it a walk-in management display. So if you have a production manager, he can just walk around and just by a glance, he sees how fast the system is printing, how fast his operator is printing. On darks and on light shirts.
Okay, so that is why you're doing these kind of things. Okay.
Yeah. And what is the status of the ink and the waste baskets? If there are, we have a wrinkle detector inside the system, so it protects the print heads. In case there is a wrinkle, it will alert the operator and just bring the pallet back out.
Fantastic.
So the Q-Fix is, like you mentioned before, is actually similar to the pre-treatment with the fixation itself, and this is being jetted through the print heads together with the ink, which helps to settle the ink very, very accurately and very, very uniformly, which brings all the vibrancy and allows us also to do very good color matching. Interesting thing that we've discovered when we started using this is it actually allows us to create layers of white. And this is what we call the XDI, or extra dimension technology, impression technology, completely proprietary to Kornit. Is something that nobody else can do to create those raised prints. So this is what you can see here. If you zoom in, you will see that this is actually a 3D print.
And that was when we talked to your customer the other day, colleague the other day. We saw that you can also use that to mimic a kind of stitching or.
Right. So we can have all kinds of different effects. So you can have like this.
Oh yeah. So you have a.
Yes, you can see it. You can see it on my.
You are a walking showroom.
Walking showroom. Yes. You can see that this is like a high definition impression. You can see on my back. If you may scratch my back. I allow it, but you can feel my back. It's also raised, and it's different effects. You can have embroidery, you can have like fingerprints, all kind of different effects. And we are also providing the software for our customers to do it. Of course, you can develop whatever you want using Photoshop, but we're also providing software to do it.
But I mean, just when you look at that T-shirt, you say it's very unique, and you do it in. I mean, I don't know if you can even do that in other analog techniques, but when you look at it, it just looks stunning, and it is like a one-off thing coming out of the machine.
Absolutely, and you can't do it in any other technology because you can see here, you have gradient of color. And you have very small details, and all of
so
that.
It's a combination of it.
Advantages of the digital print that you can't get in any other technology. So QFix is one consumable. The second one is intensifier, which greatly increases the durability for wash and rub fastness for our garments. So we're meeting all the standards for the strictest brands and retail customers that we can.
When you say that, I can't help think about, because one of the things that I think Kornit has been extremely good at is also raising the awareness, the sustainability agenda in the textile.
Absolutely.
When you add these kind of things to it, I mean, is it still water-based, or is it still...
Everything is still water-based, everything is fully sustainable, non-toxic, biodegradable. We have Eco Passport from Ecotex. We are meeting certified for GOTS, meeting the brand's restricted substance lists. So you can use these prints and these garments for just about any application you want. And of course, this, as you can see, almost no water is being used for this print, which is very, very sustainable. And the system itself is also relatively low on energy compared to others.
Let me ask you a question, and that is, it's just because, you know, when you walk around here at FESPA, you see a lot of T-shirt manufacturers that do similar things like this, right? And I was just thinking that for the audience that watches this thing, I mean, one thing is of course I mean, what you see and is amazing. But I was just thinking that what is the main reason for people to choose Kornit over, let's say, somebody else?
Okay.
I mean, you understand my point? It's basically
absolutely.
because when you see the output, I mean, this looks stunning, but I have seen other stunning T-shirts as well.
Absolutely. So there are several reasons. First of all, the quality. We set a different standard, and I'll take you on it on everybody else in this booth.
Okay, that's good. Okay,
you know,
that's fine.
I'm very proud of the quality that we are able to achieve. This is one thing. Second thing, we see this as a solution to really transform the industry. So we make sure that these are mass production systems. These are for high volumes. This system can do 110 shirts per hour with a single operator. Okay, so we're really looking for volume. We're looking for versatility system that can work long hours, day after day in, day out. This is how they are designed. Third thing is Kornit is a company. This is what we do. This is our focus. We don't do other signage, flatbed, all kinds of other applications and textile. No, this is our specialty. This is what we do.
So the focus is extremely important for customers, should be, right?
It's extremely important, and we are a one-stop shop, meaning we develop and manufacture the systems. We develop and manufacture the inks in our own ink factory, which is also a very sustainable ink factory in Israel. And we develop all the software and the software solutions that we provide to the customer, service, training. We do the whole package. If you have a problem, and now recently Kornit also bought Tesoma, the dryer company, so we understand this is a very important part of the process to get quality prints. it is ours as well. We take ownership, we take responsibility to get the best quality all the time.
And I think also you have become like investment darling, right, for some of the investors in the market. So that means that you also get the funding for keeping developing great technologies, right?
Luckily, and it's fun to be in a company that is
that
doing
goes this way, right?
That is doing good business.
Yeah.
Our CEO likes to say that we don't manage the stock, we manage a business, and the stock follows.
Yeah.
And you know, it's fun to work with a company that has a vision.
Yeah.
It knows where it's going. It invests a lot in R&D and has a lot of focus.
We were in Israel talking to some of your colleagues some years ago, and it was just like, you know, already that time you really sensed that the bonding and the passion of all the employees in Israel, that you wanted to be a winner, you wanted to be the best, right? I mean,
we truly believe in the vision, in what we are trying to do. Again, we don't see ourselves just as an equipment manufacturer.
No. Let's go and see something, because you have more machines.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
What do you want to show now?
So let's move over to the next machine. We're going to see the Atlas Max Poly.
And what is the difference?
All right. So the Atlas Max Poly is a variation on the Atlas Max, that we are going to launch next month.
Okay, so this is actually like not a production machine yet, or?
It is not yet released.
Okay, but it is the right machine, basically.
But it is ready, yes, we are launching it next week.
Okay.
Not next week, sorry, next month.
Yeah.
So most of the print that we're doing is on cotton in the Atlas Max, like we just saw.
So that was like you have the polyesters here, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Polyester is a different, it's a different niche, but it's a huge niche. It is the, right now it is the number 2 used fabric in the world, and it is the number 1 most growing. So it's a huge market.
So it's still like the most growing is polyester based?
Absolutely, because cotton prices are just going up extremely.
So this is more controllable, basically.
So yes, it's more controllable in the industry, but it is a fabric that is more challenging to embellish.
Yeah.
And the traditional ways of embellishing polyester, especially in the sports industry, you have your logos, you have your team logo, you have your sponsors, name and number on the back. The traditional ways to do these are either with screen printing or with vinyl heat transfer and these kind of applications, which are always time and cost consuming.
Yeah.
Now the main challenge here is dye migration. What do we mean by dye migration? The technology to dye the fabric itself is done in relatively low temperatures. So once you embellish the fabric, you print something on it or you do a heat press, and then you try and cure it, you put it in a dryer. The temperatures are higher than the temperatures that were originally used to dye the fabric. So the dyes start to migrate from the fabric into your print. So if you have a big name and number on white on a red t-shirt, it will start to become pinkish.
I have noticed that.
Yeah. So this is the challenge that we are trying to.
Just look at the colors. I mean,
absolutely. Absolutely. This is the challenge that we are here to face and to solve. And the way we did it is a different ink set. So if on the cotton system we are using the Neopigment Eco Rapid, here we are using the Neopigment Olympia. It's a different ink set, and the advantage of aware.
Just like, can't have you falling, right?
The advantage of this ink set is that we are able to cure it at 110 degrees and not 160 degrees like you need to cure.
So basically you have the advantage that you can use less heat and still maintain the quality of that adhesion to the textile.
You get the adhesion, you get the durability of the print, and actually it's an even more durable ink than the Eco-Rapid, because we understand that the sports applications are more demanding. So this, and I can show you here.
Oh, so cool also with the neon colors when you have it there, right?
Absolutely, so you can see with the example, this print, you can stretch it as much as you like, and it will not crack, it will not break. And this is very important for polyester applications, for everybody who's going to the gym, and the gym, they want everything very tight to show everything off.
You don't want to crack when you are having a nice t-shirt on, right?
Exactly, absolutely. So and you can see the different coverage and the different. This is just wet. This is just came out.
Then I just keep my hands off. Yeah. But it is you almost want to touch it, right?
Yeah, it looks amazing. And one of the reasons is for this system, we've added 2 additional colors. and we didn't talk about it, but we are using a 6-color system on the Atlas Max. So it's CMYK red and green. Here we understand that because it's for the sports industry, neons are more, you like to have more bright colors. So instead of red and green, we're adding yellow and pink, which is neon colors. So you can see the vibrancy, you can see the color, and you can see that we can reach fully photorealistic images, amazing quality. And again, this print will not break. It's an amazing technology that we are very, very proud of. So this is the Atlas Max Poly, which will be launched really soon.
So if I'm a customer, can I buy them in pairs?
We'll bundle it for you. No
Thank
problem.
you.
No
Okay.
problem.
I want them gift wrapped as well.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Okay.
So I mean,
yeah.
so of course, when you have developed this technology, first of all, of course, you have defined there's a need in the market, of course.
Yes.
But also because you can, right? Because I mean, with the amazing reach that Kornit has got within relatively few years, right? The innovation and the technologies, you just keep pushing the boundaries for what's possible, right?
Yes, we are always looking to innovate, and we invest a lot of money back into our R&D, into our innovation, both systems, both chemistry, software. Like I said, we are doing all in-house, and we are investing a lot of effort to keep innovating and keep finding those new applications, new solutions to provide to the market, to our customers.
But you have one problem now.
Only one?
There's nothing more to do, right? Now we could just keep selling, right?
I'm sure we can
or you still have ideas for the future.
I'm sure we have, and we have the best minds back in Israel
and
working on
new
stuff.
We want to have secrets here, right?
I'm sorry, you'll not get it out of me. No.
He doesn't know. No.
But now let me show you new innovation on the roll-to-roll.
Okay, that is something we can see, basically.
Yes,
Are
absolutely.
you sure? Okay, fantastic.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it. So I take you like your work, right?
I love my work.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
we spoke about being in a company that grows and have success. That is, of course, fantastic. But you also, I mean, when you see the fashion industry, you can see that I'm not a fashion guy, but I still like to see things like this. But I was just thinking that it's in an industry where you create something that is so beautiful, right? It is something that, so not just amazing technology, but it's also the creativity and all that.
Creativity and I come from an engineering background.
Yeah. Okay.
So I see a system and it's very nice.
So you open and see how the screws are made.
I see how it works, and I'm looking at the print and that it's very accurate. Great. But then suddenly you have designers, and actually just last night we had our VIP event here for the show, and we had a collaboration with the university in Mönchengladbach, the textile university, and we had students create fashion show on our systems. And they did it in the span of about 6 weeks, which is unheard of, that you can get a fashion show ready in about 6 weeks, only made on this system, and it's great to see what they can do once we show them this technology.
Yeah, because now we've seen t-shirts where you have them already cut and sewn, but I mean also if you look at your booth here where you see the dresses and where you see all those kind of things, it's pretty amazing actually, right?
Yes, I mean, absolutely. So this is what we do with our roll-to-roll. So if we come back to the side of the system, we can show you, we can talk about roll-to-roll.
I'm just thinking that just to understand, because when you see on the paper-based, not for the textile, but it's always like how it is to operate from an operator's perspective, from how you load the machines and how you is that also something that you pay attention to, or?
Yes, absolutely. Our intention is to try and minimize the workforce required as much as possible.
Yeah.
So to operate the Presto, you can do it with a single operator.
Okay.
This is the Presto Max.
Yeah.
And it is our roll-to-roll system. Now, the amazing thing about our roll-to-roll system, don't know how familiar you are with how printing on textile is done.
I have a quite good idea about it.
Good. So you probably know that where this entire booth is, you should have steamers and stentors and boilers and whatever other applications. Here, you don't need anything.
Yeah.
From here, over there, just about 7 to 9 meters.
Yeah.
And you have a full production line of fabrics.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will ask my colleague just to hit play, so you can see how this prints.
Yeah.
Roman, press play, please.
So let's check a go, and so we can see what is going on here, right?
So we can start the printing. So the Presto is a.
Will that be open?
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually it's closed. It's just now we're opening.
It would just be a shame if he put his camera in and it closes, right?
Yes. It will not close. It's open. So It's a roll-to-roll system, and like I said, it has the ability to print on uncoated fabrics and untreated fabrics. This is again, our belief and our call to fame of what we do. And because we are printing pigment inks, we are able to print on practically any type of fabric. So you can print on naturals, you can print on synthetics, on plant-based, and cellulose. The innovation that we brought with the Max technology for the Presto is what you see right here. Is the ability to print white ink on dyed fabrics. There is no other, guarantee, there is no other digital printing platform in the world that can do that. Completely new to Kornit. So we did that, and you can see.
Yeah, we saw that the other day. Your colleagues showed how great it is to do this kind of.
You can see the different applications that you can have for it, and we saw it also from a sustainability standpoint. We said, okay, if you're a manufacturer and you have some garment with a pattern or whatever that is didn't sell very well, you can give it new life. Just run it through the system, print a white embellishment or anything on it, and you can give it a new life. But once we did that, like you said, we're an innovative company. Once we did that, we said, okay, wait a minute. If I'm printing white underbase, why can't I print color on top of it? So you can see that now we can print color on top of it, and you can have the exact effect or the exact embellishment as you have on our DTG systems. Now, what you see and what you're now seeing here is basically fashion on demand. These are cut pieces for a dress. So if somebody just entered the order...
so that's why you have actually the pieces. So now it is... so the only thing you basically need now is to cut it out and then sew it together?
Just need to cut it out. So if you think about somebody who just sent, through the software, just sent a job to a manufacturer, what we call an eco factory, which is a micro factory, it takes to print about 20 seconds to 2 minutes. I don't know, depends on the size and the complexity. 20 minutes, 6 minutes in the dryer, 3 minutes in a cutter, in an automatic cutter from one of our partners.
Oh, you have a cutter here as well?
We don't have it here, but one of our, we work with all the big companies to integrate a cutter, and about 10 minutes to sew. So 20 minutes from order to a finished garment, to a finished dress. It is something amazing, and this, we believe, will change the industry in a way that you can bring manufacturing close to the customer. You don't need to start guessing what will be the next trend, what will be the will of the customer, which changes right now every other day.
It's funny because it's one of my favorite books is Chris Anderson's The Long Tail, right?
Right.
And if you have the long tail and you think of this, that's changed everything, because when you have digitalization of anything, basically changed the fact that you don't need mass production. You don't need that, and that changes how you think, right?
Absolutely.
So this might be a disruptor, not just in technology, but also in how an entire industry operates.
And I think what happened since he wrote that book is that once it was a tail, so you had the mass production, and then you had the very long tail.
Precisely.
I think now it's more a snake, and less of a tail.
Yeah. Because maybe not in the textile industry yet, but if you look at the music industry, if you look at some of the Netflix kind of thing, I mean, that is like where that took away an entirely analog / digital distribution into something that is online, right?
But I think that from a customer perspective, it's absolutely happened also for the textile industry.
Yeah.
Because you see, people don't want your whatever you design for me. I want to design myself.
I understand that, but I'm just saying that sorry again, Chiga. I'm just saying that basically what I mean is that you're totally right. I'm just saying that it takes maybe a little bit longer because the textile industry is extremely large, and it has a long legacy in how you produce textiles today.
Exactly,
right?
And this is what we see and we come to change, because we understand that the customer has changed. Especially during COVID, people don't go to stores anymore. They want whatever they want and they want it now. But the entire supply chain of the industry is not built for it.
No,
it is not built to supply to them.
No.
So
but I mean, there's a reason why Amazon bought a lot of your machines, right? Because now they can basically do it on demand, right?
For example, and
we have seen some of the software, because you spoke about software. I was just now we've seen the machines. You have some screens just to see something. Or
we can arrange that as well.
I'm just asking.
So just for the amazing prints you just saw, we can do for the first time color prints on black fabrics, and we said if we can do that, why not layer it and do XDI? Yes, we can do XDI and the layered prints on a roll-to-roll system as well.
Fantastic, right?
Let me show you some of our software solutions.
I was just curious about it because you mentioned it yourself, right? So.
So let me show you our.
So is it when you say software? So
yes.
I first thought it was like the production software, but is everything from ordering or?
Exactly. So, of course, everything that is on the system, the operating system of the systems themselves, the quick peak production, of course we develop and we own it. About a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, Kornit bought a company called Custom Gateway, who is responsible for workflow. And with that, we developed what we call the Kornit X solution. Now, the Kornit X solution is a software platform that connects retailers in the front end all the way to the production and to the end customer, and end fulfiller and shipping. So if I'm a customer and I'm just, I can get into a Shopify store, or it can be an Amazon store or whatever, and I can order a shirt. I will not walk you through the entire thing, but I can order a product that somebody offered me, and I can, add some text on it, customize it to whatever I want, and send it to our system. Now, once that's in the system, the Kornit X platform. Now I'm talking as a fulfiller or as a, or,
so
or
you just
as
get
a,
the orders directly into the
or as a retailer.
Force,
I can control the entire orders that were sent into the system. I can route it to different manufacturers if I choose. It can be based geographically, for example. So, if somebody saw my T-shirt on Instagram, ordered it in Singapore, why do I need to manufacture it in, I don't know, wherever? And the next customer will be in Arizona. So I will just send this order to be manufactured wherever is closest to the customer. We can manage that, and then also manage the entire workflow through a barcode system in the manufacturer's supply ground floor.
That will also, to some extent, disrupt a little bit how we think about retail, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and this is how another way we try to help the fashion industry to change its mindset and change the supply chain, because through our fulfiller networks, other Kornit customers, brands and retailers can connect into that network and then divert it to already existing Kornit customers and have their production and make sure that they have the same quality on the same equipment in each site.
My background is mainly in the commercial print, and I can see that is what is actually happening now in the book market, right? So it is like similar trends that basically print as close as to where the customer needs it, rather than having a lot of MTS shipped around the world, right?
And it is the most sustainable thing in the world, instead of starting to ship stuff around the world.
We have to go on, but it was fantastic talking to you.
My
thank
pleasure.
You very much for a very good demo. So thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Just hang on a second here. Kornit again continues to amaze me. Fantastic company, fantastic products, and I even saw some of the software today. Great. Amit did a fantastic job showcasing the technology, and now we are going to Hall 1, I think. This is our second last presentation of today, to be honest, and we are a bit tired. We have been walking a lot of steps, and to carry the camera is some work, to be honest, right? We are back here at the Canon booth. 2 days ago we had a wonderful demo of some of the Colorado machines from Canon. And today we're going to talk to Matthew Faulkner. I think we have known each other for some time, haven't we?
A few years, I think. Good to see you again,
Welcome
Martin.
to
Thank
be,
you. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for having us here on your booth.
You're very welcome.
I mean, if you look at Canon, it's a huge company, obviously, and you have amazing technology and things like that. But is technology what drives your success alone?
It's a core of obviously what we do as a technology business and the way we innovate. But for us, what's really important is to support our customers, of course. And I think if you imagine a show like FESPA, we want to inspire our customers to be able to show them new applications and perhaps emerging print volumes. And especially if you think about in current times over the last couple of years. Printers have had to adapt to changing volumes and fluctuating mixes of work and a whole lot of production and staffing challenges, I'm sure. So, as well as having our core of technology, for us it's about how are we inspiring our customers to, I suppose, find their future, move out of this. Everyone's been in survival mode for so long. Now we need to look at what does the future look like. So inspire around applications and new emerging opportunities and where those print volumes have come back. But then also to look at, and then technology sits in the middle, but then how do we help our customers make a success of those business models? How do we go hand in hand with them to ensure that they can implement some of these new technologies that they might take on?
The reason why I'm asking is also because I think that, I've said that so many times when I talk to Canon people, I think that you have, you have definitely not rested on your laurels during the pandemic. It seems that Canon has, you have maybe starved a little bit during the COVID, but you have a huge appetite for products and services and markets right now, right?
No, yeah, absolutely. As a technology business, we're very fortunate to be able to continuously innovate and to keep those conversations open with our customers. Through that very difficult period of the pandemic for everybody, we focused on how we support our customers. But during those conversations, also looking at what could the future mean for them, whether it's driven by macroeconomic trends that we know have changed consumer behaviours. Much more now of expectations about immediate deliveries. I can order something today and get it later on or tomorrow, but also a greater appetite for choice and personalisation, which then you can link that back then to how do we as printers and print businesses then tap into some of those changes. So and then through that, looking at what innovations do we need to develop and bring to market that support our customers to take hold of some of those things. So I see it's a really exciting time now, moving away from the last couple of years and actually being able to look at new things and how do we kind of push on and help our customers innovate.
Yeah, I can't help think about that. Everything in the digital transformation. Canon has been in the digital space for many, many years, right? I would say that when you started, it was an entirely different industry. Then you bought OSE, and then you have been really developing into both the commercial space to this exciting FESPA segment, so to speak, right? And I must say that, of course, everybody has been expecting that it will move to digital. But it seems that now is the moment where things are really, really taking on the digital, both because of speed, quality, consumer change and demand, and these kind of things. Is that something that resonates with your thoughts on the market? Or?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think as you say, we've always had digital transformation. I was thinking last week actually that I think this summer will be my 30th year working in the printing industry. I know you can't believe it, can you? But
no.
30 years. Well, you think back to when I started. We were also going through digital transformation. Film was still being used to make printing plates, but it was produced digitally
those kind of films,
on image setters.
Yeah.
And it was the very early days of inkjet printers. I think we used to call them roll-top printers because they had a roll on top. It was really kind of imaginative, and that was opening access to digital print in studios for the first time. So, well, you can see there's been that digital transformation journey throughout, but now I definitely agree that there does seem to be, the pandemic has accelerated a whole load of trends. So, the wallpaper, the UV gel wallpaper factory that we're stood next to is a great example of an application that was, a very specialist application, but big print volumes produced in an analog way. But now we've already surpassed 1 million square meters of wallpaper production on Colorado just with our EMEA install base. So, and that's really just scratching the surface of an exciting new application driven by consumer trends for spending more time at home, working remotely. I want to decorate my spaces. I want that choice as well. And I think for us to be able to use one of our core technologies with a partnership of someone like Photoba, who provides the roll input and the rewinding and slitting system, it's opening those new markets to our customers. So to me, that's a great example of something that can't be digitized. You can't digitize packaging. You can't digitize things like wallpaper applications. So great print volumes and opportunities.
But I mean, if I look at the industry for a second, it's like, when you have like trends that are moving toward like digital, for example, right?
Yeah.
It also opens up for a lot of competition because everybody wants to have a bite of that potential in the market, right? I think that the strength of Canon, and I mean, we went to, I don't know if you know, but we went to both Venlo and Poing to see your
yes, I saw,
yeah. And it was basically fantastic because you see, when you come from the outside, you see it's a huge commitment you do. I mean, just to have 2,000 people employed for R&D, I mean, it costs a shitload of money, right? To be very blunt, right?
Yeah.
But I still think that when you say that you follow also the customer trends and you follow the market trends, I'm just thinking that maybe sometimes trends are developing faster than you can do in R&D. So sometimes somebody may come in and disrupt the market. Is that something that you consider as a threat in Canon from time to time? Or?
Yeah, no, it's a good point, because I think on the one hand you can respond to the needs of customers to the way you innovate, but in any big technology company, there are long-term roadmaps to make things happen. But I think we also, have been successful in actually innovating from a creative point of view. So, Flex Finish Plus that we're launching here at the show is a way that we use the unique properties of UV gel to change the curing so it can be matte and gloss in the same finish. So probably a property that we knew existed, but actually we could innovate more creatively. And I'm sure there's similar examples on the Arizona portfolio. Probably nobody was asking to print 300 layers of ink to make a textured finish.
Probably not.
It was a creative idea that came, that develops the software that means users can simply create this texture maps and then be able to produce. So there's that mixture of, yes, we're following the markets, and yes, we are looking at innovating, but also being creative in a way and coming with ideas that will inspire our customers to perhaps think about how does that apply for their business, and that might lead us into other directions that we learn successes from our customers as well. So
last question here, how has FESPA been for you guys?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It's been.
Have you rang the bell?
We've rang a lot of bells. Yes, I'm really pleased to say we've had fantastic reaction. FESPA's a sales show for us where we've been really successful. But I think for us it's fantastic to be back at live events again. Meeting with customers and being able to kind of share some of what we're doing and also learning from them. And I think when I look around the whole of FESPA, it reminds me after 30 years in this business what an amazing, vibrant industry we're in. And you see, I think sometimes print, internally and externally, the printing industry is quite often perceived as a bit industrial, and it's made by print's made by big oily machines with big cogs. But actually, you look around a show with all the technologies of cutting-edge print technologies and software and robots and automation and data.
But you can put it in a way it's creative. You look stunning things. It's about friendships across the vendors. It's a people's business, right? And I think it's still a growth opportunity for a lot of people.
It's massive, yeah.
And it's just identifying where you want to go in order to make sure that you hit that hotspot, right?
Yeah, it's finding the right application that for any customer. It could be building on what they're already doing. It could be a niche. We saw lots of niches during the pandemic, actually being built on and being grown in print businesses. So yeah, it's just finding the right path. That's something we want to help our customers find.
I was just about to say that Canon wants to help, because the one that finds the niches where you can support them, that is where you want to be, right?
No, exactly, yeah, exactly. Great.
Thank you,
Martin.
Nice talking to you again.
Yeah, you too, thank you.
Just hang on a second here. This was Matthew Faulkner from Canon. It was great talking to him. And now we're heading to the last interview of today with Fujifilm, so we're just heading in some direction. I don't know where it's right now. Thank you very much. We are back at Fujifilm's booth. Yesterday we had an amazing presentation by Steve's colleague Oliver.
Yeah.
And one of the takeaways I found very interesting was how Oliver explains how Fujifilm basically went back to the drawing board, so to speak, talking to customers, talking to all the service technicians, talking to the market in general to understand the needs of simply a new product line. And Steve, we're going to talk a little bit about your experience with the market, but let's start a little bit with yourself. You are Steve, of course.
Steve Cookman, 27 years at Fujifilm, primarily sales support functions.
Fantastic. Yeah. When you look at, I mean, because you have that experience, when you look at the technology that has been presented here at FESPA, I mean, how has the impression been by the customers?
I think the customers have really sort of welcomed our new approach to bringing these products to market. I say our new approach, I think it's an approach that most of the equipment manufacturers will go through. There's that curve of sort of design and introduction of a product, a period of growth, a period of maturity, and then you need to think again. And I think we were very fortunate to have started that process back in 2018. We used those 3 years.
Even before the pandemic, right?
You just can't time the market. So, but yeah, we've used those 3 years really valuably. And here we are, FESPA 22, the first sort of time that we get to talk to the public, our customers again. And we've got a great story on a great stand. It's been rewarding.
But I take that when you have customer sales support, I mean, have you also been involved in the process of getting all that data from the market and understanding the real needs?
Well, Wide Format HQ for Fujifilm is based in Broadstairs in the United Kingdom. There's a team of people there. It's where we make our ink as well. 44 years of UV ink, 23 years of digital ink in the market. So we do have a great understanding. We've also had, strategic partnerships over those years as well, where we've shared a lot of technology with the partners. So from that respect, and of course the significant installed base that we've had at various levels in the market, then we've collected, or the people in Broadstairs have collected a wealth of information. And that, all the time is being used, and in particular at a point like this in our evolution with bringing the Acuity range forward again with the new Ultra, roll-to-roll, the Hybrid, and of course the Prime, which is our new flatbed platform.
The reason why I'm asking, and I'm not pointing fingers neither at you or anybody else, but I would have thought that if you are a well-known and well-renowned manufacturer of hardware and things like this, that you will have to always be in very close contact with your customers in order to understand the market fully.
Yeah.
So without pointing fingers at anybody, I was just wondering, is it, in your opinion, like a new way of basically saying that, okay, we have to do it more systematic ways or more product orientated or more like reinventing yourself as a company in order to get that? Because I also sense the passion and also for your booth here, because you had a lot of success here.
Yes.
So my question is that you always have to be in touch with your market to develop the right products and services, right?
Yes, I don't think you can just switch it on.
No.
I think it has to be part of your DNA, shall we say.
Yeah.
You have to have that relationship. And I think we can also demonstrate that because as an ink manufacturer, we tailor inks to particular application requirements. With our earlier Acuity flatbeds, we had a thermoforming ink. We've had, in terms of multi-substrate, probably 3 different generations of ink there. With our high-end partnership with Inca, and the onset, we had a paper and board ink, we had a multi-substrate ink, we had a plastic ink, ink that would naturally adhere to polypropylene. Again, that's listening to what the market wants. And we see that with our roll devices as well, with our Acuity Ultra, where we still use a mercury cure to give us that full cure for high-speed production. We have a specific ink.
Yeah.
But then with our LED version of the Ultra, we have a tuned ink to that LED wavelength. Again, you get a full cure.
Yeah.
And then with the flatbeds, at this point in time, we have one common ink across the Prime 2030 and the new Prime L.
You like inks, right?
Well,
I mean, you talk about
we've always liked inks.
Sorry, but it's because I feel the passion, and it's great. I just think that sometimes people take ink for granted, right? But it's such an important thing to have the success of a product, right?
Absolutely. I mean, so our inks are Green Guard, AGBB approved. We try and use the right chemicals, not the aggressive chemicals that can be unpleasant. I'm not an ink specialist, but this is what I hear. Ink has always been a huge part of our business, and it will continue to be. But I think we're taking a little bit of a new direction here, perhaps not completely focused on consumables, but now on solutions and hardware sales. And you would have seen with various sort of press releases, we're growing our dealer base as well. That again is to drive more solution sales into the market.
Yeah, and if you look at the baseline from here, look at the technology, look at your history on the ink side, and also Fujifilm as a very serious and very reliable partner for many years. So it must be a good baseline to start off from.
It's a great baseline to start with. I mean, Fujifilm is a significant name in the industry. We manufacture print heads. Our print heads are in many systems. Strangely enough, not in these systems. Okay, we have the Ricoh Gen 5 in the Prime, and we have the Kyocera.
I heard that,
in the Ultra.
Yeah.
But we recognise a good print head. You're looking at price performance. The reliability that we see with the Kyocera head in the Ultra is extremely good. We're very happy with that. So we'll try and integrate the best products for that solution.
So being 27 years in the industry, right? I was just thinking you still get emotional and passionate about the print itself?
Absolutely. I'm
asking because I love print. So
no, you're right. If I look back in my recent past, then in 2008, Japan at Drupa did the reveal on the jet press. In 2010, I was part of the team that brought the jet press into live production at IPEX. Just to see the print quality that you get from a 2 picoliter droplet in that product is really exciting. And then, we have partners that have then integrated that head. Inca, for instance, did that. It is exciting to see how our technology can be deployed in the market.
And you're good at it, and you showed it here, right?
We certainly showed it here. We are good at it, and we can always get better.
That is what makes us go to work tomorrow, right?
It is, yeah.
Thank you very much.
A pleasure.
Great to see you.
Indeed. Thanks, Morten.
So this was the end of today with Steve from Fujifilm. It was really cool to be at the day 3. We are wearing down to our socks, so we need to rest and have some lunch and basically get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow we don't have a planned program yet, so we're kind of freestyling a little bit. We're trying to figure out what to do tomorrow morning to make an interesting 4th day at FESPA here in Berlin 22. So thank you I can tell you, I was so happy. We have already now more than 4,000 people that have seen these 4 days here, 3 days. So we are really, really pleased about the audience that follow INKISH on all our channels. So thank you very much and see you tomorrow.